तो दोस्तों, भगवान का नाम लेकर हम आज का ये कार्यक्रम अपना शुरू कर रहे हैं।
फिक्स द कैमरा रख के देखो इधर, ये लैपटॉप ऑन है। हाँ सुब्राचू महाराणा बोलते हैं। हाँ हाँ मैं महाराणा बोलूँगी। उमर अभी मैं बोलूँगी, इधर वेट करना, अभी मैं आपके बारे में बोलूँगी।
Is your husband better at this than you are?
No, I am better.
Oh, look at the way.
मैं बोलूँगी पहले। Good morning, everyone. Hope you are doing good and thoroughly enjoying the way these 2 days of heavy dose of encouragement, knowledge, emotions, feelings, celebrations, with little bit of mass bashing, the sumptuous meal, the comfortable stay. Hope you are all enjoying that. I think bashing out a little more, huh? Are you enjoying it? So you are all set for today's reinvigorating and rejuvenating retreat? Okay. There will be a lot of bashing also if you don't respond, okay? So to begin today's day, we have with us our person of determination from Odisha. Can we hear it for announcement right now from my friend Shweta. Come.
Parents, please request you to pick the self-advocates from the courtyard door. We've shut all the other doors, only the courtyard door is open. For Sapphire 2.
From Sapphire 2, when you go to pick your child, please go from the courtyard door. All the other doors are shut. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together for our self-advocate and champion from Odisha, Mr. Subhranshu Maharana.
Good morning, Jaipur. यहाँ पर जितने गेस्ट है सबको मेरा नमस्ते और जितने फ्रेंड्स है सबको मेरा प्यार। थैंक यू रेखामा एंड बेसे भाई। आज मुझे कुछ स्टेज में कुछ बोलने का चांस मिला है। मेरा नाम सुब्रांशु माना है, मैं 20 इयर्स का हूँ। मैं स्मार्ट सिटी राउरकेला ओडिशा से आया हूँ। सॉरी, राउरकेला चिपलामस का फेमस है। यहाँ पे एनर्जी राउरकेला है। यहाँ पे सब जगह में ग्रीनरी है और 2020 में हॉकी वर्ल्ड कप हुआ था। और एनर्जी राउरकेला में मेरे सिस्टर पढ़ती है। आज मैं मेरे बारे में कुछ बोलना चाहता हूँ। राउरकेला छोटा सा प्लेस है। मैं जो छोटा था अभी छेला पिसनी से मेरे मम्मा ने मुझे बोलना चलना खड़ा होना सिखाया है। मेरे पापा ने स्विमिंग सीखना सिखाया है। मेरे सिस्टर ने कंप्यूटर में काम सिखाया है। मेरे स्कूल टीचर्स ने मुझे पढ़ाई लिखाई एक्टिविटीज सिखाया है। आज उन लोगों की वजह से मैं यहाँ तक पहुँचा हूँ। I am fond loving person. मुझे फ्रेंड के साथ और फैमिली के साथ मुझे अच्छा लगता है। मैं फ्रेंड के साथ में फेस्टिवल फेमस करता हूँ और फैमिली साथ में मैं सभी से मिलना अच्छा लगता है। और मैं मिस्र गेम में मैं हैदराबाद में शॉर्टपुट में फर्स्ट हुआ हूँ और रणजी में सेकंड हुआ हूँ। और मुझे मेजर में पुण्यम जी के साथ अभी 80 से किया हूँ। ब्रह्मा ब्रिज, रिवर क्रॉसिंग और रिवर क्रॉसिंग किया हूँ। मैं इंडिपेंडेंट में सभी काम में कर सकता हूँ। मुझे स्विमिंग, साइकिलिंग, डांसिंग में मुझे बहुत पसंद है। मैं अपने कंप्यूटर में काम करना अच्छा लगता हूँ। मैं MS वर्ड में, पावर पॉइंट में मैं प्रेजेंटेशन में बनाता हूँ। मैं अपने फैमिली के लिए ग्रोसरी, मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स, वेजिटेबल्स अपने से पैसा हिसाब से में लाता हूँ। मैं घर का जिम्मेदारी दे देता हूँ, हाउस कीपिंग से लेके लॉन्ड्री, गार्डन। मैं अपना स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म आरंभ करके मैं स्कूल जाता हूँ। आई एम फूडिंग, मुझे कुकिंग ज़्यादा बहुत पसंद है। मैं जल्दी अपने घर में राइस, दाल, आटा जो बनाता हूँ। मैं मॉर्निंग सेक्शन में क्लीनिंग, कटिंग करता हूँ, वेजिटेबल ऑर्डर करता हूँ। मेरे मामा का जब ऑनलाइन क्लास होते हैं, मैं कुछ जो इवनिंग स्नैक्स बना के मैं अपने फैमिली को मैं बना के देता हूँ। बस बेकरी एज माइक प्रोडक्ट के मैं बेकरी एक छोटा सा बिजनेस लेता हूँ। मैं सभी डिलीशियस केक बनाता हूँ। पाइनएप्पल केक, ट्रफल केक, चॉकलेट बनाता हूँ। पेस्ट्री भी कुकीज बनाता हूँ। मैं 5 से बेच लेना चाहता हूँ। मुझे सेब अभी बड़ा से मिला सकता हूँ। जब कोरोना में जैसे भी लॉकडाउन हो गया था, जब मैं स्कूल भी बंद था, मैं नीना मैम का लैप्सी क्लास, शिबन मैम का स्टोरी क्लास और दीपा मैम का इंग्लिश क्लास, उस सबसे मुझे हेल्पफुल हुआ है। IIDSC कॉन्फ्रेंस 2020 में जब मैं रायपुर गया था, मेरा दोस्तों से मिल के मुझे कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है। अब मेरा दिल्ली में मैं आगे और लॉन्च स्टडी करके मैं कॉलेज जाना चाहता हूँ। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
Can we hear it for the gentleman, please, once again? Thank you so much. This medical and therapeutic session have been beautiful because we had the very gorgeous, handsome doctor with us moderating it. And who else than a geneticist himself, you know, trying to take important and most important information out of our experts. Thank you so much, Dr. Pradeep. Can we hear it for Dr. Pradeep? Wish you a very happy and safe journey, Dr. Pradeep. So coming back to Shubhranshu. Oh, thank you so much, Shubhranshu Maharana, for telling us that happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. Thank you, Shubhranshu. Once again for Shubhranshu. And we would request parents to please rise and again receive the applause from the line. Nothing is greater than the blessing of parents and support of parents.
बिल्कुल। और शुभ्रांशु को सुन के हमें लगी गया है कि कहिए तो आसमां को ज़मीन पर उतार लाएं, मुश्किल नहीं है कुछ भी अगर ठान लीजिए।
कब
मैम, काश में पहले ये जितना भी हुआ है, हम छोटे से शहर से आए हैं, जितना भी हमने किया है, लेकिन काश मैं ये सभी जगह से पहले जुड़ी होती तो शुभ्रांशु आज और कुछ अच्छा करता। अभी कर रहा है बहुत, उससे तो मैं हैप्पी हूँ बहुत, लेकिन और अच्छा करेगा। और मैं चाहती हूँ कि हमारे उड़ीसा के जितने टीम है सभी लोग अच्छे आए ऐसे करेंगे।
So, we are full of surprises. So, a little detour from the schedule. We have here a very strong mother who has a very empowered and independent young lady with her. She's nurturing her so beautifully. She has something to share with. Please listen what she is here to offer. Rekha Jain, ma'am, over to you.
थैंक यू मैम। आपने शायद देखा होगा पी पॉट्स, कल था वहाँ पे बाहर स्टॉल लगा हुआ था, पी पॉट्स बाय मिताली। मिताली मेरी बेटी है, आप लोग मिले भी हैं सब उससे। अभी वो सब प्रैक्टिस करके ऊपर कमरे में चली गई है। तो हम लोगों ने एक बिज़नेस स्टार्ट किया। एक्चुअली शी इज़ 30 इयर्स और बहुत स्ट्रगल करने के बाद, सबसे ढूंढने के बाद कोई सर्विस दे दे, कुछ कर ले, लेकिन उसको कोई ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली नहीं मेरे बच्चे के लिए जो मैं चाहती थी कि उसके लायक, उसके काबिल, उसके स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से या उसको समझे, इस तरह का मुझे कहीं कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिला। तो मैंने खुद का उसके लिए एक ब्रांड स्टार्ट किया है, बिज़नेस स्टार्ट किया हम लोगों ने, पी पॉट्स बाय मिताली करके। ये एक एनर्जी बॉल्स हैं, एक बहुत हेल्दी प्रोडक्ट है जो बहुत सोच समझ के हम लोग घर में अपने बच्चों को खिलाते थे, तो क्यों नहीं सबके लिए फिर हमने स्टार्ट किया। मिताली इसमें पूरा पैकिंग करती है और स्टिकर लगाना, काउंट करके डालना, वो सब उसका काम है। तो ये मैंने सिर्फ मिताली के लिए नहीं स्टार्ट किया, बेसिक जो मेरा अपना स्ट्रगल था ना 28 इयर्स का कि मुझे इन बच्चों के लिए कुछ करना है या मिताली के लिए कुछ करना है, तो सब बच्चों के लिए जो भी अपने बच्चों के लिए काम ढूंढते हैं या हम लोग बड़ा सोचते हैं कि ये लोग क्या करेंगे आगे जाके, तो उस चीज़ के लिए मैंने ये सोचते हुए डाउन सिंड्रोम या कोई भी बच्चा कैपेबल है जो ये हमारा काम कर सकता है, आप लोग सोचते हैं कि हमारा बच्चा कर सकता है, उसके लिए काम स्टार्ट किया है। तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि हम लोग इसका ऑल ओवर दिल्ली में इसकी ब्रांचेस बनाएं या इसको फ्रेंचाइजेस, जैसे मर्जी आप लोग इसका फ्रेंचाइजेस लेके या कुछ भी करके हम लोग इसका अपना ब्रांड समझे, डाउन सिंड्रोम का ब्रांड समझे इसे, और इसको थोड़ा सा सब मिलके जैसे भी आप चाहते हैं हम इसको आगे प्रमोट कर सकते हैं। उसके लिए आप मेरे से किसी टाइम भी बात कर सकते हैं।
हेलो, हेलो, हेलो।
So now even every microphone wants to come to us and, had the feeling or listen to what we are saying. So, it's okay. So we were waiting for one of our fellow comrade in cause, for Mr. Keshav. I think he's on his way. So without a further ado, we would like to straight away want to go to our expert for special education, whom we so dearly want to listen, and we forget when we go back to practice with our self-advocates or our champions. Listen to her once again so that she can remind you what you already know sometimes, but don't know how to practice. So today she is going to tell you about how you can actually practice and be patient. So are we all ready to hear Hema Malini ma'am once again? Can we hear it for her? She doesn't require any introduction because we know she is a go-to person when it comes to the education, writing skills, or anything we want to teach our children.
Where's Mr. Sanju? He has to fix the laptop.
And ये एक light. Oh, he is going to put up. Yeah. इसका. Hello.
Hey, you do all this here. I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll see a hole, just put it in.
Yeah. I found it. This is on. Yeah. Good morning. Can you all see the screen? You don't have to see me. See the screen, that's more than enough, okay? Just hear me and see the screen. Okay, that's fine. So good morning everyone. I hope it's a bright morning for all. I could hear all of you from my room. I could hear everyone. So that was that loud in the morning today. Amazing, but that gives us a spirit. Okay, so moving on. I'm here with you all to just talk about few things that exactly happens in a special education and how it really works. Okay, so we move on to the slide. Move to the slide. Yeah, what is special education? Where do we start? That was the question yesterday also, and I was answering that. So कब शुरू होती है special education? कब बंद होती है? तो शुरू होने के time कैसा होता है? We divide the special education into 3 parts: very early intervention, the preschool age, and the schooling age. Very early intervention is the age group of, change the slide, yeah. So it is 0 to 3, where this is the early intervention. The child is 0 to 3 we say, but then we wait for the neck control. So because we are not able to talk to the child and expect the child to look at us when they are lying in the supine position or prone position, we wait for the child to have the neck control and then start off. In this we have, in the early intervention, we have physiotherapy, we also have cognition. So what is happening in the physiotherapy? The child is learning to do all these things in the stepwise. The child learns to roll, sit, crawl, kneel, squat, stand and climb. But what exactly me as a special educator is looking into when the child is doing all this. So when the child rolls, the child is becoming stronger. The muscles are getting more stronger. The floppiness reduces. Only when you don't have a floppy muscle, you can roll. Otherwise, we can't roll. So when the child is rolling, I understand that the child is becoming more stronger. When the child sits, the child can easily eat by itself. So you don't have to really feed the whole meal. You can wait, allow the child to eat. This is very important at that age, because unless we do this, we can't proceed at the later age. And then when the child crawls, that means the child can play by itself. So allow the child to play with the toys around, with things around. Kneeling is the posture where the spine is getting straightened. So I understand when the child is kneeling, when the therapist tells me the child is able to kneel for 2 seconds, ma'am, I understand that the spine is erect. When the squatting is done, I always initiate the parents to start with the toileting. And standing is the balance, the body balance is appearing when the child stands. When the child starts to climb up the stairs or climb down the stairs, that means the child is able to get the perception. That is the depth perception. Why do we need a perception and what really happens, we'll talk later. So what is happening in the cognition class? So simultaneously, it is not like this happens and that will happen later. It has to happen simultaneously. So 0 to 3 years, while the physiotherapy is happening, what should happen in the cognition? I will make the child to do stacking, that is stacking anything. It need not be toys from a very specific kind. It can be even your simple tea tumblers or the tea glasses at home, or any small dibbas which goes one upon the other. It can be any stacking at home. बाहर से नहीं खरीदने का है, घर में जो है उससे stacking कर सकते हैं. Picking is something like, the child should be able to pick a spoon, be able to pick any object with a claw grip or a lesser than a claw grip. It need not be a pincer grip at this age. Dropping is to focus. When you drop things, 1 second, somebody is showing hand. What is it? They are weaving to somebody else. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so dropping. When the child drops a thing into a dabba or into any small vessel, it means the child is getting the focus. The child is able to exactly put it into the hole of it or the mouth of the vessel. It is the focus. It need not again be the particular toy. It can be any other small vessel that is there in your house. You can just ask the child to drop any smaller object into the vessel. That itself is called the focus. So throwing, and when you throw something, your fingers have to release it. Unless your fingers releases, you can't throw. So the exact thing what I am looking at, when the child throws something, they keep on complaining to me, he throws everything. When they say that, no, I feel very happy, the child is getting released. So the release is an activity where from the fingers, you should know when you're gripped, you should know to release. So when they throw something at that age, I definitely should say, within the age of 0 to 3, if the child is throwing something, it is a good sign for me. I say, yes, it's very good that the child is throwing at that time. Catching is gripping. If it's a bigger ball, a bigger grip. If it's a smaller ball, it's a smaller grip. That's all. The child will be able to grip with both the hands at that age. Then coming to fixing is the eye-hand coordination. It's nothing but the blocks that we use, or we fix anything upon anything is the fixing. So at home it need not be the blocks. There are houses which says we don't have Lego blocks, ma'am. It's okay. It need not be Lego blocks. Anything else that can go into something is called a fixing. ऐसे कि डब्बा कैरियर होती है, टिफिन कैरियर, एक के ऊपर एक बैठेगा, तो एक बड़ा होगा तो ऊपर छोटा सा होगा. So this is also a fixing thing. Squeezing is the ball that we squeeze. That means the finger is getting strengthened. So before 3 years, I'm checking whether all these things are happening. So these are very important. Waving is the elbow. If somebody knows to wave to say bye-bye, that means I am able to use my elbow, not my hand or not something else. So the child is actually getting ready cognitively as well as motor. So during this age, it's very important to understand child learns everything through motor. So you will have to allow the child to be very, very physically active at this age. If you are going to always carry your child and say that my child is not doing anything, naturally nothing is going to happen. So allow the child to be free. Don't lift the child very often. Even if the child cries, please don't lift. Let the child cry. That's also very, very important. And then the sensory integration, this is also a part of it, but I'm stopping it by 2.5. It's very important that 6 months, that is 2.5 to 3, this sensory integration works in a different way. So why we are stopping at 2? Why we are stopping at 2.5 is, usually even the breastfeeding happens, you can prolong it till 2 years, you can even prolong it till 2.5. It's no problem. So all the sensory integration is nothing but it's not just with your tactile. Sensory integration हर बार ऐसे हाथों से पाँव से नहीं होती है, मुंह से भी होती है. So you should allow mouthing to happen. अगर मुंह में बच्चे कुछ भी नहीं डाला, तो this is a problem. The child will show up all these things as a behavior at a later stage. अगर 5 साल के बच्चे मुंह में कुछ डालता है तो अच्छा नहीं लगता है ना, तो allow the child to do it by this year. If the child has got the sensory into the mouth by the age of 2.5, the child is definitely fit at the age of after 3. So we have to stop it at 2.5, but allow the child to put everything in the mouth. It's not like I will not allow him to put the block. It is our duty to see that the block is clean. आप क्लीन करके रख लो, आप स्टेरलाइज करके रख लो, कुछ भी रख लो, but the child should mouth. It is very important. And the child should be able to see and react. मम्मी को देखते ही रिएक्शन होती है, पापा को देखते ही रिएक्शन होती है. That reaction has to happen. Sensory integration is not a very big term. If it is happening through mouth and your hand and your leg, it is happening when I see and I react, when I listen and respond. अच्छी सी राइम सुनती है तो हिलती है, तो घर की डोरबेल सुनती है तो चली जाती है डोर के पास. All these things all listen and respond. Sorry, I didn't tell you to move on. Yeah, right. So the next is the smell and taste. This goes together. The olfactory, that is of course the technical term, the olfactory and the gustatory works together. That is मेरा smell and taste works together. जब भी आप कुछ खाना देते हो, रोज दाल चावल देने से क्या होती है, सेंसरी नहीं बढ़ती है. So you will have to give different flavors. Different flavors जब आप देते हैं तो कहना भी पड़ता है. आज आपको मैं कोरिएंडर राइस दे रही हूँ तो स्मेल करके देख लो एक बार कोरिएंडर, देन ईट. दैट इज हैपनिंग एज सेंसरी इंटीग्रेशन. द ब्रेन टेक्स इन what is the smell and what is the taste of it. It has to go together. What happened during the COVID days, some people said we lost our taste. Actually, the people who lost their taste have lost the smell also. So it has to go together. So if the integration has to happen, you will have to tell the child what you are giving and then give the child. अगर आम खिलाना है तो कहो कि आम खिला रहे हैं, आम का एक बार स्मेल कर लो तो आम कितना मीठी स्मेल आती है. ऐसी कि मीठी स्मेल होती है क्या, लेकिन मीठी स्मेल तो होती है, इसलिए मीठा लगता है. मिट्टी का क्या स्मेल होती है, मिट्टी का स्मेल कितना अच्छा लगता है. तो व्हेन दे स्मेल, व्हेन दे अंडरस्टैंड, दिस इज हाउ एक्चुअली दे अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज टॉयलेटिंग. When they go, this will help in their toileting because they understand what is a bad smell, what is a good smell. They understand that they have done it. Okay, this helps them so much. So sensory integration by 2 to 2.5 is very, very important, and especially mouthing is very, very important. Many of us stop them from putting things into the mouth, but that is going to affect them a lot. Please allow them to do it. School readiness. So 3 years हो गया, अभी स्कूल जाना है, चल सक रहा है, तो स्कूल तो जाएगा. तो क्या क्या रेडी होनी चाहिए. स्कूल जाने से पहले उसे हाथ धोने का आदत देना है, उसे हाथ धोना आना चाहिए. ईटिंग अपने आप आना चाहिए, डब्बा खोल के खाने का आदत दिला दो. ब्रशिंग होनी चाहिए, ठीक से नहीं हो तो भी चलेगा, बट चाइल्ड शुड बी एबल टू ब्रश. ये करने से क्या होता है, आई एम यूजिंग माई एल्बो, आई एम यूजिंग माई shoulder, I am using my wrist, I am using my fingers, everything is happening. So with all these things, I am able to get ready to go to school. And toileting, definitely yesterday also I spoke about it. So by 2.5 or 2.8, at the most 2.9, the child should have been toilet trained. So it can start at the squatting stage at 2 years, giving you 9 months to train. More than enough, actually 2 months is enough. So please train before they go to school, in the preschool. And let the child have bath. Actually they enjoy this. This is the most enjoyable thing, is to have bath. Allow the child to have bath by themselves. If they are a little bit dirty, it's okay, but they will learn how to become more cleaner. So allow them to do it. This also will help them a lot of movements in their body, and they understand when the water splashes on them what really happens. If you are going to do everything, the child is going to lose on it. So combing is something like grooming skills. Some children, like small little children, they try to put a rubber band at the back also. So imagine the amount of hand which goes back, and then you're so much of occupational therapy, the so-called occupational therapy is all done in this. So you don't have to go to an occupational therapy for this. If you're training your child to become personally active and grooming skills are done, then the occupational therapy is totally done. You don't have to really reach out to somebody else. The last picture over there is a sitting tolerance. I'm telling a story and the child is able to sit with me. It need not be more than 15 minutes at that age of 3 years. But gradually, by 3.5, we expect it to be 30 minutes. By 4 years, it has to be 45 minutes. So child should be able to sit in a place for 45 minutes by 4 years. By 3.5, it will be till half an hour. By 3 years, just 15 minutes. So आपकी story इतनी लंबी नहीं होनी चाहिए. You cannot tell a big story. Tell a small story. Always end it up with a rhythm. एक song. एक rhythm से story बनाने इसका आदत बना लीजिए. अच्छा लगेगा. Okay. So we are moving on to school age. So the preschool is over. We are moving on to the school age. The first, sorry sir, you moved fast. नहीं, इसके बाद. Oh yeah, pre-writing skills. Okay, I think I don't have the slide. Yeah. Yesterday I included this slide because some parents were asking me about this. Pre-writing skill में क्या-क्या लेके आना है, writing के पहले क्या-क्या सिखाना है. माने once you go into the school, the first expectation from the teacher is the child starting to hold a pencil and write. So how do I bring it? So what can be the pre-writing skill? So in that I have brought in few things as brain gym, which stimulates the left and the right brain, the finger tracing on the alphabets and using of the finger paints. This is very important before the child holds a pencil. Move on to the next, please. So what is a brain gym? Yesterday during the one-on-one session, I was telling few parents what is a brain gym. This is a lazy 8 where the finger is traced upon the 8 which is sleeping. That's called a lazy 8. You all can see it in the YouTube. There's a lot of videos on it. You move from the left to right because in any book we read from left to right. So the finger moves from the left, goes up and then comes down to right. This is the midline crossing of the brain. The left hemisphere and the right hemisphere is coming together to allow you to read. Reading is a very complex way of learning, and writing is much more complex. So what happens in writing? I have to read, I have to understand, I have to recollect the formation of the letter and then put it into a print in my book. So it is very complex. To do all these things, my brain has to be ready. So for that we are doing a brain gym. One is a lazy 8. The other one is a clapping over the head, which I was teaching yesterday. Nothing else but so easy. You just have to clap over the head there. That means my hand is totally straight, my shoulders are becoming tougher, my elbow is up, and then I am able to clap. Imagine how much of brain stimulation is going to happen. And the next one was thinking caps, which is not here in the picture. Thinking caps, you call probably, if you are able to make a note, please make a note. Thinking caps is for the retention of the memory. So you will just pinch your earlobes 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It happens 3 sets. I'll tell you about the prescription, okay? This is called thinking caps. And the last one is the criss-crawl. The child over there, the last one hopping. But we will do a modification of it because many of our children, when they lift one leg, they do lose their balance at the age of 3+. So we do crisscross like this. Like this. In a sitting position onto the thigh or onto the table like this. We are not doing this. No, we are not doing. Okay, sorry. Okay, we are not doing this because the child may lose the balance and fall down. So to avoid that, we are just making them sit on the table, clap and cross, which we say it as a rhythm. Everything needs a rhythm here. Criss, cross, criss, cross. That is the rhythm over there. When you're saying clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap your hands together. It has to go with the rhythm. Don't make them do like a military person. They will definitely not do it. But if it goes with the rhythm, they definitely do it very well. So we end with a crisscross, and the last one is tap, 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 and clap. We do it 3 times purposely because when it comes to CVC words, you all would have heard of this. C is for consonant, V is for vowel, C is for consonant. Thank you. So when we come to CVC words, it is the 3 sounds which has to come up. So when I do tap, tap, tap and a clap, 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 that means my ears are able to get 3 separate sounds over there. So when I'm reading a longer word, I know to make a chunk of 3 sounds in it. How do the syllables come? All this happens when I do my brain gym properly. So every day you have to do a brain gym. It will just take 2 seconds, nothing more than that once you practice. So the prescription here is 3 sets of each brain gym. 3 sets. That means 3 times I will do this, 3 times I will do this, 3 times I will do this, 3 times I will do this. So all of it 3 times. So that's the prescription in the brain gym, then followed by your learning. So what do you learn at the school age? You learn sight words. You all would have been very familiar. I'll show you the videos for it. Sight words reading, and then the writing, then the reading from the book. When you do the sight words, please don't stop it there. When you do the sight words, please take it forward for the sentences and then take them to the book where you will create a book with small chunk of sentences. Move on, please. So this is a testimony where now this is 1 page of it shows the capital letter and the small letter. We have to introduce the capital and the small letter together. Please don't do all the capital letters and say my child can do capital letters but can't do small letters. Do it together and look at the strokes over there. All the standing and the sleeping lines will go first. So all the L, T, I, E, F will be done first, but please bring it along with the picture. I purposely did not bring the colorful pictures to tell that it need not be colorful. Even if it is done in a black and white, the child will learn. So don't think that everything which is so big, so colorful only can be brought to the child. If possible, yes, do it. If not possible, at least bring it to this level. So when the child learns L, L, leg. Sorry, that drawing was very bad. T, T, tap, I, E, ink. So this is how they learn. So they learn the name of the letter, the sound of the letter, as well as the picture over there, so that when they come to the lower kindergarten, the teacher says they have to match the sound with the picture. So they are doing it. So we will have to teach them in that methodology. Moving on to the next page that way. So if I'm teaching the sight words, I need to go into the sentences. So this is there's a drawing of apple. If the child doesn't know to read the apple word, usually we teach that also as a Dolch noun. If the child has not yet learned, then the child can conclude with the picture. So this is an apple. If there's a picture, it is going to motivate the child to read. If there's no picture, sometimes the motivation is very less. So at a very young age, please bring in more pictures when you're teaching them academics. So that was a worksheet for a very small child. This is a worksheet for 2nd grade. So the sight words are increasing. The sight words taught is, yesterday in the one-on-one I was telling somebody that I will teach you how to do sight words to a story. So here the sight words were only 5 sight words: away, blue, down, find and funny. There were only 5 sight words that were taught, but look at the story that is built upon it. This is a dash bird. Can any child not say what it is? Any child will say it's a bluebird, because the blue is very much evident over there. They have to only pick the word from there, from the sight word that they have learned, and put it there. Once the story is built, this is a bluebird flew away, come down bluebird, I cannot find the bird. It is very funny. This is the story. Imagine with those 5 words, we can create a story. Now from this story, built up a question. Which color, what color was the bird? That is a comprehension. So, we are doing a sight word, we're building a story, coming down to comprehension, grade 2. Even grade 1, please start off. You cannot just do sight words and forever. And please don't do, I can see a black cat, I can see a orange fish, I can see so many times, I can see. The child will not see, actually say. The child doesn't see at all. She will just say, I can see an apple, I can see something. So the child has to actually read. So make it a variety of it, and the sentences should have so much of variety, and the story should be built. हमारे बच्चे स्टोरी बुक नहीं पढ़ते हैं आप अगर बनाते हैं, खरीदो मत, बनाओ. दो साइट वर्ड्स जो आप सिखाते हैं उससे आप स्टोरी बनाओ तो अच्छा लगेगा, उससे कॉम्प्रहेंशन बनाओ तो और भी अच्छा लगेगा. Let them have the interest to learn through what they know. So knowing to unknown is always the best way. So put it into practice. And this is an innovative lazy 8. The same lazy 8, but I have brought in all the words into it. All the sight words are into it. So whatever the sight words the child is expected to revise, put it into the lazy 8. They will be reading it while they put their finger onto it. 1, eat, I, is, and, might, this, like, me, to, for, have, you, will, it. So this is again a rhythm. As well as you're doing a brain gym, the child is also revising the previous set of sight words. When we move on to the next set of sight words, okay? Moving on to the next. This is very important, a double doodle. Okay, this is also a brain gym where you move your fingers like this upon the Xmas tree. So I have put the same words on both the sides. This is actually yesterday when Dr. Preeti Rekhi was talking about the vision. This actually is so helpful to correct your vision also. Is somebody raising a hand? Thank you, sir. I'll go slow. Should I move back? Should I go back to the previous slide? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Hello, Sebongi. I thought the other speaker is also waiting. Sorry. Okay. So, the lazy 8, when we are doing lazy 8 in a brain gym, हमने बताया था कि lazy 8 बनाते हैं, तो उसमें एक innovation लेके आए कि lazy 8 में आप sight words भी डाल दो, जो भी सीखा है. So previously done sight words can go into the lazy 8. The new sight words will be the set of sight words that you will do in the class. So previously done sight words को revise करने के लिए आप ये use कर सकते हैं. So that was the previous slide. Moving on, इसे कहते हैं double doodle. I can take a mic from here. I'll be on the stage so that they will see me. So it is something like this. Yeah, double doodle is something like this. You move your finger like this. Convergence, divergence, convergence, divergence, convergence, divergence. So this is more like an Xmas tree. So when I tell the child to move like this, they don't understand where to move. So when I bring in an Xmas tree, this is a prop. So when I bring in an Xmas tree, they exactly know where to stop, where to come in, where to stop, where to come in. So my eyes are getting actually correction. few children who don't have the fixation of the eye, like Dr. Preeti Rekhi was talking yesterday, this will help them to get the fixation done. Because the eyeballs move along and then come into convergence and divergence alternatively. So this helps them a lot. At the same time, I'm bringing in some amount of sight words. So everywhere as a special educator, my duty was to say, thank you. My duty was to say that the child will learn at least 5 words in a week more, or at least 4 words in a week more. So how do I bring it? So I incorporate few activities and then bring new sight words. If I just bring sight words in the same modality of reading the sight words from the card, the child is getting bored. And actually I am also getting bored. So sometimes I feel it is not the way. So let me bring in sight words in a different modality. So then when I thought of lazy 8, I thought I can bring in sight words in lazy 8. But when I have to introduce new sight words, again I'll bring it in the card as well as do something like this. So this is an activity where they learn the sight words, along with it they do the doodle. So up on top I have written 3 sight words, which is and, that and with. That was probably something which is more important than the rest of it. So I wanted the child to learn exactly the 3 sight words, new ones, but the rest of it is all the set of it. So I'll make them do this as well as those 3. That was the point, to bring in this. Thank you. So the next one is part, again the grade 2, even the grade 1, the children are expected to learn days of the week, months of the months, at least orals have to come. So when the orals have to come, I again incorporated into an activity. Just by saying January, February, March, April, let us bring it into activity, because that is the age where we are expecting the child to do strokes. So when they have to do strokes, that means movement of the fingers in the up and down writing has to happen. So I did this as a mountain. Go up the mountain, come down the mountain, go up the mountain, come down the mountain, go up the mountain, come down the mountain. That is the rhythm. Now instead of saying that, now I'll say go up January, go down February, go up March, go down April, go up May, go down June. As we move on to the grade 4, where the child is expected to say, or grade 3 also, the child is expected to say 31 days in January, 28 days in February, 31 days in March, 30 days in April. This will help them. So somewhere it is going to help them in the future also. Now I am going to do it for the strokes, and this can happen in a smaller paper or a bigger paper. Yeah. So it can these activities will actually help them to learn as well as keep them more motivated. If I don't give the activity and just teach them by cards, the motivation goes low. So to keep the motivation on, we bring on things like this. So this is something slightly, you have to become very creative and innovative, not to teach the same way, teach them in a different modality. Very important to teach them in different modalities. So this is again the same blue bird, the same sight words. This is a comprehension where I am not expecting the child to write. Okay, every time we say comprehension, the child will throw the pencil, because the child doesn't want to write a sentence there. Okay, it usually happens. When I say sight words, the child will close the eyes or close the ears. This all is happening in my class. I know what really happens. That's why all these modalities come in. So here this is a comprehension where the child is expected, the child will read because the sight words are taught. Help the bluebird to take a yellow banana to go down to find the monkey on the tree. So what the child is expected to do? Just trace on the lines over there and reach the monkey. After reaching the monkey, the child again has to read the message and find a red apple to fly away. So again the child is coming down to the red apple, moving up there. So I am actually making them do the strokes, which is required for the pre-writing skills if the child has not yet got the writing. At the same time, I am doing a comprehension where the child will read and do it by themselves. I need not even sit beside them, because only when it comes to writing, I need to sit beside them. When they have to do this, they don't want me there. They can read it and they will do it by themselves. Ho gaya ma'am. So easy and so happy. So think something like this in a comprehension. Comprehension is not always reading and writing or listening and telling out the answer. It can be something like an activity like this, like a jigsaw. Okay. Yeah. So this is our DSFI team and some of the parents with us. So this is in our center in DSFI. Thank you all. But yeah, thank you so much. I have some videos to show. Yeah. Now I'll go to some videos. या आई नो, विल वेट वीडियोस के लिए. या सो या हिंदी. हाँ, आई कैन ऑल्सो टॉक हिंदी ना.
Yes, I know. हेलो. स्पेशल एजुकेशन सिर्फ पढ़ना और लिखना नहीं है, ये जीवन के कौशल को समझना, उसे सीखना और अपने आसपास की चीज़ों का बोध करना सीखना भी है. नेक कंट्रोल आने के बाद स्पेशल एजुकेशन शुरू कर सकते हैं जब एक बच्चा पलटना शुरू करता है, यानी वो अब खिलौनों से खेल सकता है. ये कॉग्निशन के लिए आवश्यक है. 0 से 3 साल में इसीलिए फिजियोथेरेपी का बहुत महत्व है. किसी डब्बे से सामान गिराना उसका फोकस बन जाना है. लपकना सीखना ग्रिप का बनना बताता है. हाथ और आँखों का सामंजस्य यानी आई एंड हैंड कोऑर्डिनेशन इसके बाद आता है. कोहनी से मोड़कर वेव करना, ये सब मैं चाहती हूँ कि 3 साल की उम्र तक बच्चे को आ जाना चाहिए. सेंसरी इंटीग्रेशन यानी चीज़ों को छूने से समझने की आदत होना उन्हें बहुत आवश्यक है. 2 से 2.5 साल तक की उम्र तक हम इसकी उम्मीद कर सकते हैं. माँ बाप को देखकर रिएक्ट करना इसी उम्र तक आ जाना चाहिए. इसी के अंतर्गत उसके मुंह के अंदर के हिस्से को भी खाने की और खुशबू को समझने की आदतें आ जानी चाहिए. जैसे वो खुशबू को समझने लगे और खाने के अलग अलग टेक्सचर को समझने लगे और उनमें अपनी पसंद नापसंद को समझ सके. खुशबू भी अलग अलग टेक्सचर की हो सकती है, यानी कि मीठी खुशबू होती है. आम मीठा होता है और आम की खुशबू मीठी होती है. क्या खुशबू मीठी होती है? हाँ, खुशबू मीठी होती है. स्कूल रेडीनेस इसके बाद आ जाती है. बहुत से ग्रूमिंग स्किल्स हैं जो स्कूल रेडीनेस के समय आने चाहिए, जैसे कंघी करना, ब्रश करना, अपने नहाना आदि. इसके लिए ऑक्यूपेशनल थेरेपी का सहारा लिया जाता है. इसके बाद आता है प्री राइटिंग स्किल्स, पूर्व लेखन कौशल. उंगलियों को घुमाना कागज पर लेफ्ट टू राइट, इसकी आदत होनी चाहिए. ये एक्सरसाइज कराई जानी चाहिए. कुछ खास तरह की शारीरिक व्यायाम हैं जिनसे एक रिदम हो, जैसे टैप टैप, क्लैप क्लैप. ऐसे वाले खेल जो हैं वो बच्चे को कराए जाने चाहिए प्री राइटिंग स्किल्स के लिए. 3-3 के सेट में ब्रेन जिम की एक्सरसाइज इसमें सहायता करती है. साइट वर्ड से छोटे छोटे किताबें बनाई जानी चाहिए. कैपिटल व स्मॉल वर्ड्स दोनों कराए जाने चाहिए. बड़ा और रंगीन लिखा हुआ ही समझ में आएगा, ये सोचना सही नहीं है. बच्चे छोटा लिखा भी समझ सकते हैं. 5 साइट वर्ड से एक छोटी सी स्टोरी बनाई जा सकती है, जैसे कि आपने प्रेजेंटेशन में देखा था. एक ही तरह के सेंटेंस नहीं रखने चाहिए. आई कैन सी द बर्ड, आई कैन सी दिस, आई कैन सी दैट, ऐसे रिपीट नहीं करना चाहिए. हमारे बच्चे स्टोरी नहीं पढ़ते हैं. कहने वाले पेरेंट्स के लिए मैं कहूँगी कि वो पढ़ते हैं, आप पढ़ाएंगे तो. अब रिदम में बना के आप उस कहानी को बच्चे को बताइए. उसके बाद आता है लेजी एट. जो पुराने साइट वर्ड्स हैं उन्हें आप एक आर्ट की शक्ल में लिख लीजिए और बच्चा उस पर उंगली घुमाए और उन्हें पढ़े. उससे बच्चा पढ़ेगा अपनी उंगलियां घुमाकर. उसके बाद जिगजैग रूप में शब्दों को आप लिख सकते हैं, जो नए शब्द आप उसे इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे. पुराने आर्ट में, नए जिगजैग में. ग्रेड 1 से या 2 में हम ऑरल शुरू करते हैं, जिसमें हम महीने और हफ्ते के नाम आ जाने चाहिए. ये जिगजैग स्ट्रोक में रखे होने चाहिए. ये हमें स्ट्रोक भी सिखाता है और आगे फिर दूसरे काम में भी आता है. कॉम्प्रिहेंशन एक्टिविटी, एक कहानी को खोया पाया के रूप में छोटी सी बना के जिक्सा के रूप में आप उन्हें प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. ये हिंदी में लिखा हुआ मेरे पास है. मैं इसकी फ़ोटो खींच के भी आपको ग्रुप पे डाल दूंगी, तो आप याद के लिए रख सकते हैं. थैंक यू मैम. यस मैम, प्लीज़ आइए.
Thank you, Miss Parul. That was amazing, always in Hindi. Yes, sir.
जैसे मेरी बेटी जो है now she has attained the age studies. We were not able to continue the further studies. But
Okay.
what I came to know is that now they can continue their study through NIOS.
Yes.
So please do harp upon this session.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we have done few online sessions on NIOS. Anyhow, there is a institute which is called as National Institute of Open Schooling, where the children are not able to be in the school after a certain age due to different reasons, not just academic, but other reasons also might come up. At a particular age of around 14 years, the child is still not able to be in the school. They can switch over to NIOS, but a specific training has to happen. Isn't ki NIOS is very easy. I will definitely not say it is equivalent to CBSE. So there's a lot to study, but the only thing is you can clear a paper at a time. So you have 6 months for one paper to do. So if I'm teaching English, I will teach only English for 6 months. Then I'll drop the English, I'll take up another social science, and then I'll teach social science only for 6 months. Then the child will write the exam in social science. This is how it goes. And the child can clear the whole paper in 2 years. That means every 6 months I can take just one paper. Totally 5 papers can be taken. You can drop maths if you don't want it. But usually I'll say you can take if you can. Business maths also is there. So there are different subjects. As the child grows, you can go into the website. Everything is by the parent, through the parent. So it's nothing like others will do it for them. They will have to register themselves, take the ID, and then the material will come home. If there's a specific training session to train the child to go through the 6 months of the same subject, the child will be able to clear it. This is what is called as NIOS way of learning, but it is usually available in few states. It's available for OBC level A, B and C, that is grade 3, grade 5 and grade 8. So you get a certificate for grade 3, then you get a certificate for grade 5, then you get a certificate for grade 8. Then moving on, you can do a secondary and higher secondary through NIOS. There is a methodology, but you need to find a proper fine-tuning training in it. If the training is not correct, the child will also get missed, because the whole material has to be chunked out. It has to be so chunked that our children will be able to do it. So proper training can really happen with NIOS also. Thanks for adding it, sir. So now,
Just one.
yes. What is online? The exams will be written. Only the registration is online. Okay? You will be doing your studies at home along with the trainer or with the parents. Then go back to your center and write your exam. Yeah, all the information is given in the NIOS website, NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. Okay, so now moving on to the videos.
Ma'am, before that, can I just interrupt here?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I have come across many parents for whom the stumbling block is potty training.
Okay.
Before they get into mainstream education or even special schools for that matter, because many special schools across India are reluctant to accept the children. So if you could throw some light for the parents
Okay.
as to what is the importance and how to go about making your child potty trained, which is very critical.
Okay, potty training also one of the sessions online. Anyhow, to understand more about potty training, once the child knows to squat, that is the child is ready, that is the hip bone is ready, that is how we call it as. The hip bone is ready, the bowl is ready. When the child is able to squat, that means squat क्या होती है? When you are doing the toileting.
हाँ, हम जब उखड़ू बैठते हैं उसके लिए इंडियन टॉयलेट में उखड़ू बैठ के जैसे.
Yeah. So when you sit in that position, that means the child is ready to use the toilet. The child is able to ready to sit and do it. So how does the training happen? This is the question over there. Unless you keep the sleep and the food pattern constant, the potty training cannot happen. So if you are thinking of doing a potty training for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you have to keep your food and sleep constant. That means one day it cannot be that I had my nashta at 7 o'clock, the other day I had my nashta at 9 o'clock. And you cannot say that this child slept at 10 o'clock, the child slept at 12 o'clock. No, that cannot happen. So you have to streamline yourself so that the child will sleep and eat at the same time, at least for 2 weeks. So what really happens? The biological rhythm happens. Inside the body, whatever has to be washed out, whatever has to be cleansed. But again, I will say, you will have to be cautious about your thyroid. If there is an issue with the thyroid, please consult with your doctor, take a proper medicine so that this can be regulated again. So if the sleep and the food pattern is done, then the potty training really happens easily. So in the morning, if the child is waking up at the same time, then I can fix an alarm and say, after the nashta, after 5 minutes, I'll give some hot water, warm water, and then I'll put the child onto the potty. The child can use it. Most of the time, if you're stimulating the child inside the toilet, the child is able to use it. Probably the child will need handles to sit. If it is a Western toilet, the legs should not be hanging. The foot needs a rest. So foot rest and the handles on the potty is very, very important. You cannot just leave the child on that and come away. And don't make the child sit on the Western toilet in a squatting position. If it's a Indian closet, put them on a squatting position. If it's a Western closet, please bring those, now everything is available. The potty seat with the ladder. So the child can climb up, sit on it with the handle, and the foot can be on the footrest. So this is one point over there. The second point is, after every 1 hour, unless you are keeping your food in a proper rhythm, this cannot happen. So your water and the food should be in a constant timings. Then you can always put your alarm. Your phone can ring. Whenever the phone rings, you will tell the child, the phone is ringing, you will have to tell. The phone is ringing, if possible you can even show the vibration. The phone is ringing, it's vibrating, it's time to go for loo. So then we will take the child to the restroom. So every time this happens, the brain is getting trained. Whenever there's a ring in the phone, even if the mother is not around, the child will start going towards the loo. So gradually what really happens, even if the phone is not ringing, it is ringing within them. So the biological rhythm has happened. So this is how it happens. It may take, for some children it may just take 2 weeks. For some children it may take 6 months. It's fine. But within 6 months usually you achieve it if you are keeping things constant. But if you are saying that today I went to shopping so I did not give her food at time, or I came late from office so it did not happen, then the potty training difficult. It's very difficult. So at least until the child gets potty trained, keep yourself constant. That's very important. The child is fine. It's us who mess up. So we need to keep our time properly and do the rhythm properly, then the child will definitely learn. So I think I answered your question, Anil bhai. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to the videos. I'm showing these videos to only tell, I'm showing videos of the different children. It's not the same child doing everything, okay? Different children, to understand that every child learns in different way. Every child has gone its own way of learning. Okay? Volume.
Can you point this? This. Very good. This is this. Second time. And is my. Can you show me my? My name is Ambika. Can you show me my? My. Where's my? Say Ambika. My. How do you show my? My name is Ambika. How do you show? My. Ah, that's my. Very good.
Non-verbal child with so many other difficulties apart from being DS. So the child was not able to comprehend, the child was not able to understand, the child did not have focus. All these things were a problem. I'm still reading a sight words in the same usual way of flashing the sight words. This is called fast flash method. You will see it in the YouTube also. So when we are flashing the sight words over there, the stimulation of the brain comes up that way because the photographic memory is happening and the child comes out with the verbal sounds. So here the child is able to say mum. So the my. So child at least brought out that sounds. And the child, if the child is not able to point it, what is expected is use a pointer to point the card. The child was not able to point it properly. Still we can accept it for this particular child because the child had other issues other than being DS. So this is one particular child I wanted to show. We'll go to the next video. Next video. Start. Give me my. Give me it. It. Very good. Give me a. Give me this. Give me big. Big.
I said big, big. Ah, where is big? Which is the big? Read the word properly. This is, no, is. This is big. Ah, big. Okay, give me he. He. Ah, correct. Is. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
There's a lag because he is using a laptop with a video. What I try to do there is, the child is able to do it, able to pick up the words as we say. So this is one particular age where the child has started, but actually this is not testing. Where the child did not know where it is, I try to guide the child. So we should not test the child, but guide the child wherever possible. Okay. The next video, sight words to sentence. Next video, please.
Okay, now take this. Take the word this. Take it. This. Is. This, okay? Now take is. Is. Where is is? Is, Tanvi. Is. Is. Where is a? Are you taking a? Take a. Now we'll fix soap. Take soap. Now fix it. Now read the sentence. Read it. This. Read ma. This. So this is the soap.
Please. Yeah. So now we saw this, the sight words which we were teaching, now it's gone into sentence. So using a modality, when it goes to sentence, I'm using some Velcro. There is a set of sight words there and I'm expecting the child to put it there and then read it. So this kind of activity will help them to motivate. So they will remove this, they'll put it there. There are other sight words also there. So they will leave the other sight words and take whatever we are saying. So this is very important to understand when the child is in the school. The child is expected to pick one correct answer from the given words. How will the child do it? So this is the practice we do it here to understand that the child will pick only the ones we say. So the next video here, again a very small child.
T, telephone. Can you bang on T? Can you show me T? T, telephone. Can you please do it? T, telephone. T, telephone. That's
Rhythm. Imagine when I said T, telephone, the child did not do. Again I said T, telephone, the child did not do. When I did the rhythm, T, telephone, immediately the child was doing the same thing. So this is how the child learns faster. So create a rhythm, create a strategy where the child will learn. The next video is a very short video there.
A. Where is the A? Yay. What is that, Atul? What is that? Yay.
I just hit the letters in the sand. So this is again, every time I can't be showing it in the chart and saying, what is this, what is this, what is this? Hiding the letters in the sand. So I'm giving the sensory also at the same time. So the child is searching for the letter and then bringing it out and then saying the word. When something is hidden and the child removes it from it, the pleasure is different. So we need to give the pleasure when the child learns it. The child has to be very, very happy in a class. That's very, very important over there. The next one, please. Child?
Very good. Come on, write. Good job. Now next number. Say after. What is the number?
7.
After 7, what is the number in the number line?
8.
Come on, write the answer. Very good. What is the next number here? What is this number?
8.
8. So say after 8. See the number line and tell after 8. After 8. After 8.
8.
After 8? 9. Very good. Come on, write. Good.
Where the child is already in grade 4. So the child is expected to do subtraction, but then I am teaching first after numbers. So the pre-skill for the subtraction is addition, So after numbers, the pre-skill for the addition. So whenever you are teaching addition or subtraction, please always work on the pre-skill. What they need to know before numbers and after numbers. Do that and then go ahead. So the child is able to do when we are giving a number line. So slowly when we wane off the number line, it already happens in the memory. So the number line remains in their memory and they will be able to say what is next to next. So initially you have to give a number line and don't keep on creating as a test, what comes after 7, what comes after 7. So anxiety बढ़ता है. So anxiety न बढ़ने से क्या होता है, number line में देख के बता दो क्या होता है, after 7 क्या आता है. So that is more easier, but gradually the child will be able to say. Next one please.
White.
Blue.
Blue.
Glue.
Blue.
G.
Go.
G. Glue. Very good. Down.
Down.
Gown.
Down.
G. लिखो. Gown. Good. And.
Down.
Very good. Funny.
Funny.
Here it was a rhyming word. Why are we doing rhyming words? When I'm doing sight words, a set of 5 words, but I won't expand the vocabulary. He's already in the grade 3. He has to learn more vocabulary from one word. I am teaching the words and, but I want the child to learn more vocabulary. So all the rhyming words are the more vocabulary. If I say and, sand, hand, band, ran, man, all these are vocabularies. It ends with A and D. So it's so easy to teach, multiply the vocabulary from one word. So this is grade 3 child learning more vocabulary and they learn very well. When it is rhyming, it's always fun. The next video, sir. Very good. Close it. Yeah, this is again a pre-writing skill where the child is filling up a very small cup. It's a Fevicol lid actually. I'm using a very small cup so that the focus will happen. The sand has to go into a very small cup. Then the child will hold the very small cup and tilt it into another bowl. So what is happening? I'm using my wrist to tilt. I'm using my spoon to tilt. So the wrist manipulation is happening so well, which is a pre-writing skill. So pre-writing skills have to be using lot of spooning has to happen over there. Yeah, the next video please. This is a photograph. Yeah, this is just a photo to tell you that the group learning is very important. It's not all the time one-on-one. When the children sit together and do activities together, they learn much more things. They learn to adjust. So this is what is expected in the classroom. So group learning is also very important. This is just a photograph. And the next one is a lazy 8 done by the child. Next video please. Turn. I went up the bridge. I turned and came to sit. That's all. So the same lazy 8 which he was doing with the finger, now he is able to do with the chalk piece. So you can use modalities like that and then slowly bring down to the pencil. Don't directly come to the pencil. The next is again a photograph. It's just a maths worksheet. So you can create worksheets like this to understand more into their learning. So it need not be always single digits. You can move on. Next please. Is also a picture. Next picture please. Yeah, this is just our months of the year on the floor. So the child is expected to jump on each month. So the jumping is done as well as the months are being learnt. So on the floor activity is again very, very important. Even the sight words can go onto the floor. The child can jump, pick up the sight word and bring back to me. So jumping is very important for learning. You cannot miss jumping. Hopping is also very important. When the child gets the balance, body balance, we also do hopscotch and hopping also. So floor activities is this. Next one please. The last one. No, that's all. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. So these are the videos and the pictures that I would like to I wanted to show to you. Thank you very much.
Just one question I wanted to know. There are few parents whom I know, and whatever you've taught us right now, pre-skills and those things, the sight words, till what age this is benefit? Can the parents teach after 10 years or 12 years of their child?
Sight words?
Yes, because there are few kids whom I know, they haven't done this.
They can teach.
So
but what happens after 12 years, usually there is a slight regression. The progression happens very rapid till 12 years. Actually, the children behave like a sponge from 3 to 6 years. Amazing. You can teach as many words as possible. Then after 6 onwards, they do mathematics very well. You can bring more of mathematics. After 12, slight regression happens just because the adolescence sets in. So what happens? The gonads, of course, that's a technical biological term. It acts upon us and it gives us different feelings. So in those feelings, to concentrate on studies becomes slightly difficult. But it's not that it's impossible. But if you are going to start with smaller sight words, it's not right. At 12 years, you should not start again from this can. Go ahead and learn what interests you. I love something interests more than saying I like this. So go ahead to that and then teach them that, which should be very interesting. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you emphasize on the subjects like which has to be studied during the schooling? Like we have taken out the language subjects.
Yeah.
Like we have in our place like the Bengali and all the stuff. We took it out. We took it out the Hindi also.
Yeah.
These are been exempted. And can you emphasize on which subjects to be taught, the school has to go through if the person is going to the main schooling?
Yeah, in a main school, yeah, thank you. So language, if it's difficult for a child, or if sometimes actually I feel that they do language very well than English. Because I hota hai. Yahan do bar, yes, tell me.
Yeah, it is there. There are some people who can go for the MIL language rather than going for the English language. I'm not saying about that, but like the emphasis on the subjects,
yeah.
Like the computers, and there are some in the schools which are not easy for these Down syndrome people to go through for the computers in the deep way.
Yeah.
Rather than going on the it's like on the cloudy part and that's like going okay fine.
I don't.
And the
yeah.
keyboard and all the stuff.
I got it, sir. Each school has got a different curriculum and different set of books, set of syllabus, everything. Until at least 5th grade, they are very different. So if you feel the child is not able to cope up something, you can always talk to the teachers and tell. But usually science and social, I always say let them do it. Yeah. Science, social, maths and English, let them do it. They will do it.
My daughter is going through the, like she likes maths and science and all the stuff, but doesn't like the subject like social science and all the stuff, doesn't like it. Because she has to write. Because they are not able to write so nicely and so she doesn't.
No, actually, I actually have a very good video. Sorry, I didn't bring it. Social science being taught in a different way. I was teaching the child the geography where okay, I can probably tell it, okay? Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and then Himalayas. This was the geography of outer boundaries of India. So how to teach that to the child? Because the child could not read from the book. So I drew it in the floor, and then we played a running and catching game. The child will come running to me into Indian Ocean, and then I will run to Arabian Sea. The child will come running to me to Arabian Sea, then I'll run to Himalayas. So the child knew what is where. So this is how you can inculcate something. History becomes slightly sloggy, then you have to bring it as a story.
And as you told about the NIOS, if the person is going to the main school, can we also edit him or her to the NIOS also?
I will suggest until grade 5, please let the child be in the school. Don't please do homeschooling till the grade 5. Let the child enjoy their childhood. Even if they are not doing their academics properly, it's okay. They are learning a lot of social skills and behavioral skills from the school. That's very important. After that particular age of 14 years, where the social skills are already done and the behavioral skills are already done, you can probably pull out and start with NIOS. Don't do simultaneously at the grade 3.
No, she is in the class 4 now and
yeah.
she is 13
Wait till grade 5. Wait till grade 5. Okay. Let her be in the grade 5. Even if the academics are less, it's okay. Then you can probably pull out later. Okay, because the behaviors, when they get into the adolescence, it's very important that they be with others. The emotional intelligence happens only then. Unless I know how to adjust with my friend, I don't know what is emotional intelligence. So it has to happen. Let them fight also. It's good.
Okay, thank you.
It's good.
Madam, is there any option for the CBSE schools without scribes? Shall we be able to write?
CBSE, yeah, without scribe, yes, possible. Why not? All these children we showed the video, they all are writing.
Without scribes?
Without scribe.
For the exam?
Which exam?
10th exam, I'm talking about
10th exam, okay. 10th exam is something which goes with the speed and everything else. So if the child is able to catch up with the speed, that is with the timer, then probably you can go without the scribe.
In our Kerala, the state schools, they are not allowing without the scribes.
If they are not allowing and they are giving scribe, be happy with it. Okay. Be happy with it. There are states which is not giving a scribe. We are fighting for it, we are not getting it. Yeah.
Good morning, Hema ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, I just wanted to know your opinion on sending a school to an inclusive school or a special school.
Inclusive school.
Inclusive school. My son is currently going to an inclusive school. He's going to the learning center for 2 hours on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So he is under that Delhi government program.
Yeah.
So what we are seeing is that they have special educators, but we need to send a helper along with the child because they are not able to handle the kids on their own.
Correct.
So we are not facing much of difficulties. They are giving them opportunities. They are going to other schools also. But sometimes we feel that as far as the curriculum is concerned, we don't get the details from the school what they are doing. So currently my son is in the KG class at the moment.
KG class, yes.
Yeah.
So again, I'm telling you, when we are sending to the school, please don't focus on academics. As it is, I'll tell special education itself is not to be focused on academics. We have to think the child as a holistic child. We need to see our children as adults. When we see our children as adults here talking to us over the mic, imagine the body language, imagine the etiquettes they have. That is more important than what they learn. So don't give more importance to the curriculum being taught, the academics being absorbed. That can happen in your remedial sessions. So please give importance to the social status that they get in a school, how the child behaves with the other child, how the child understands from the teacher. This is more important. You have something?
Good morning, everyone. I am father of Aishi Sharma. She is 14-year-old and going in 8th class. She is going in a regular school. My question is, what is special feature of the new education policy for children with special needs like our children's?
Special education policy?
New education policy. What is?
New education policy. Yes. Actually, new education policy is all for our children. Truly speaking, in the paper, if I read, it's all for our children. But practically, it's still not happening. It might happen. It will happen in a few years probably. But it's very much done. The new education policy is very much for us.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
सर बाद में हम इस पे बात करेंगे क्योंकि ये इससे रिलेटेड नहीं है सवाल. तो अभी हमने इस ब्रह्मांड की सबसे अच्छी स्पेशल एजुकेटर को सुना, हेमा मालिनी मैम. उनके लिए एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं. हम लोग डाउन सिंड्रोम फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के भारत अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन 2023 में इस समय है और हम लोग YouTube पर ऑनलाइन हैं. ये जितना सेशन अभी हुआ है इसे आप बार बार रिपीट करके अपने घर में बात भी देख सकते हैं और अभी भी अपने दोस्तों या घर वालों को किसी को देखने के लिए कह सकते हैं. थैंक यू.
Madam, one last question.
Sir, we will moving on to the next session. We will have the questions later on. We will have. You can. Yeah, you will have answers of all your questions. So, hope we have been transformed in here and in here in the short time you spoke. But as you said, Hema ma'am, even few parents could learn it in 6 minutes and some might take 6 months. But it will eventually happen because we have you in our team. Just keep showing up parents for our conferences and virtual sessions and we all will advance with the same speed. We will slow down and some will speed up with us. So can we hear it for Hema Malini ma'am, please? We can always do better. This meeting became more productive after this practical tips, Hema ma'am. Thanks a lot for connecting all the dots from life skills to overall comprehension. So moving on to our next session, a very important aspect for our champions, speech. So for that we call upon our expert. She needs no introduction as we all know her. She's been so many times with us on the virtual platform. So now again after Raipu, she is again with us, Dr. Sharanya Krishnan. Thank you so much, ma'am.
A very good morning to one and all. As always, like a prayer, I'm going to start off by thanking my very, very dear Rekha aunty for walking into Dr. Priya's clinic one day to fix her leg, and she heard me work with a child, and she barged in and she said, "You are coming to DSFI." This is how I came here. This is how I landed up here at DSFI. So, yeah, absolutely. So, before I start off, I would like to say two things. I have to match up to the incredible presentation of Hema ma'am. Amazing level of creativity in those activities that she put up. Okay? Hats off. So much hard work goes into preparing for every single session, be it speech, physio, OT, or special ed. I want parents to understand that one thing. So much preparation goes on. It's not just when the child walks into the clinic and, we get our stuff ready. While driving, we think about what next for this child, what next for the other child. While making breakfast every morning, my schedule goes through my, flashes through my mind. Okay, these kids are coming today and this is what I need to do. So there is a lot of planning that, happens at the back end. So the second thing that I wanted to say is today we are going to talk about, I'm going to do two presentations, okay? It'll be very short and it is more of a discussion and not a one-sided presentation. The first part of it is collaborative practice in speech and language intervention, which means what we and y'all are going to do together, right? And for this, I want, Deepa is already here. I have Deepa, and I also want Ambika's mother to please kindly step forward and sit in the first row. Ambika's mom, are you here? Ma'am, Ambika's mom, is she here? Okay. Deepa, you're here. I will call you all of a sudden. Be ready, okay? So, the second part of my presentation would be Oro-motor. So since yesterday I have had many parents coming and asking me, I'm sure it's running in your mind after our panel discussion yesterday, what is this Oro-motor? Oro-motor, Oro-motor, oh ye kya hota hai Oro-motor? Okay. I'm not going to be able to demonstrate all the exercises today. It's not possible. But I will take you through a short, an overview of what oromotor and orosensory exercises are. क्या होता है, कैसे करना है, क्यों करना है, benefits क्या है, okay? And the third and the most important disclaimer, I am going to be talking in Hindi and you better bear with me, okay? It's terrible, but I'm going to try. So, yeah. Collaborative practice. Collaboration क्या होता है? What is collaboration? Working together. Okay. Now let me tell you one thing. Speech and language therapy is one of the most sought after, most important intervention services that all parents look for. Now at this juncture, I want to ask all of you, how many of y'all are taking speech and language services, therapies for your kids? Can you put your hands up, please? Okay. The next question is, when your child goes for the session, attends the session, how many of y'all are sitting and observing the session? Not allowed. Oh God, now this is a test for me. Okay. कितने आप में से कितने लोग स्पीच थेरेपी अटेंड कर रहे हैं बच्चे के साथ सेशन के अंदर बैठ के every session? Fantastic. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I see only 6 hands in the entire 7 hands in the entire auditorium. Only 7 hands. This is how it used to be 40 years ago. Traditionally, speech therapy was designed as a team effort with the child, the parent, and the therapist sitting together in a session and working with the child. This is how it has been. And I don't know, over the years, I don't know whether to call it dilution or commercialization. Kya ho gaya malum nahi. We've all just, moved on with times. Times have changed. Okay? The method has changed. The approach has changed. I think it's time for us to go back to what it is. Next slide. Let's have some crucial conversations. So, as I said, it is very important to now gain deeper understanding of what is collaborative practice between an SLP, a speech language pathologist, me, and parents, you. How it can be achieved and how it can impact the progress of the child. Okay? So let's have these points in front of us. Now, when do you begin intervention? I spoke about this yesterday, ASAP, as soon as possible, earlier the better. For communication purposes, as early as 6 months, and for feeding purposes, probably even earlier, soon after birth, okay? Now, what do I expect from my first visit with a speech language pathologist? Pehla session, appointment leke main ja rahi hu. Kya expect karna hai? Okay? So what you will expect, the speech pathologist is going to be sitting there and doing an assessment. ठीक है? So this is the first time we are meeting you all. आपका family history, background, कितना stimulation जा रहा है बच्चे के लिए, how much stimulation is happening at home, schooling, education, development, सभी, all questions will be asked. It's more like an interview for you all, the parents. But let me tell you one thing. It is not possible for any therapist, however good they are, to assess your child in one session. Not possible. I can't do it. I don't assess the child. I only gather information and get the history, क्योंकि मुझे plan करना है. If this child is going to come to my session, I need to know what background the child is coming from, what are his likes, उसको क्या पसंद है, क्या पसंद नहीं है, उसका behavior कैसा होगा, interaction कैसा होगा, all this. I only get a basic idea in that half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. लेकिन when I start working with a child, 3 sessions, 4 sessions later, that is when I actually complete my assessment. It takes that much time for any therapist to complete the assessment. And so doing it in one session, it doesn't happen. It's not possible. So, this assessment basically, हमारा documentation purpose के लिए भी बहुत important है, क्योंकि we need to run a standardized test to see language development कितना हुआ, what is the months, number of months कितना है, comprehension कितना है, expression कितना है, what is the level of the child. इसके लिए थोड़ा test भी करना पड़ेगा. And medical history information सभी gather करते हैं हम. Now, what do we do with all this information? It basically helps us to understand the child, where the child stands. हमें एक baseline set करना है. Child इधर है, इधर से हम आगे जाना है. So that baseline is what is set in the first session. Okay, and this will help us plan our goals, strategies, and everything for the therapy. Now the next is, again, yesterday I spoke about this. My child can understand most of the things said to him, but cannot talk verbally. सब कुछ समझता है मैम, सब कुछ मोबाइल में ये करता है, वो करता है, सब कुछ जानता है, लेकिन बोल नहीं सकता, नहीं बोलता मैम, जानबूझ के कर रहा है ये, नहीं, जानबूझ के नहीं कर रहा है. All of us, remember, for all of us, it is, comprehension. Okay, we all understand more than what we can express. हम लोग भी बहुत सारा समझते हैं, उतना नहीं बोलते हैं हम. It's a normal phenomenon. Okay, and with children who are developing language, okay, the disparity between comprehension and expression is more evident. Okay, because they are just learning to talk. Okay, so give them the time. I'll come to this point anyway. We'll come back. So it is through this understanding, like I said yesterday, you create a corpus fund. Like आप कितने लोग अपार्टमेंट में रहते हो? हाँ, आप लोग मेंटेनेंस भराते हो every month. Okay, all the owners of the apartment contribute towards a corpus fund, repair, leakage, all the expenses are, the money is taken from the corpus. You have to create a corpus in your child's brain, and that corpus is vocabulary. Comprehension is very, very important. Be happy if your child can comprehend everything. And don't stop working on comprehension just because your child knows. You have to go on to the next level. Okay? It is with this comprehension and this understanding that they build their own expressive vocabulary. Wahan se they will take the words, like how you take funds from a corpus, they use the words, and that process needs facilitation. Apne aap nahi aata hai. It needs facilitation. You need to help them pull out that word. Okay? Now, how often does my child need to attend therapy? This is another common question. Now, let me tell you two things here. The first thing is parents' presence and participation in the therapy session is mandatory. It is important in understanding how and why of therapy strategies. You need to know what is happening. It is your right, I say. It is your right. You need to know what is happening in the session, why the therapist has taken these goals, why these goals have these kind of activities designed for it. Now, what if this activity fails? How is she putting my child in the therapy room? Is she sitting in front of the child and doing the activity? Or is she sitting behind and, giving a prompt? These are the nuances that you need to pick up sitting inside the therapy session. You cannot be sitting inside the therapy session and browsing on Instagram. I'm sorry. I don't allow any of my parents to do that. They sit inside the session to watch me bring a notebook and write down the points. Okay, simple things make a huge difference. So when I present something like this, okay, say I'm presenting 2 visual cards and asking the child to pick one card, and I present it like this, and the child is not responding. Now I think of ways to change my strategy. So I put it on the table and try. On the table doesn't work. The child wants to get up and run. He doesn't want to sit in his seat. So what, generally these kids, when they come inside any clinician's room, they don't want to sit on their chair. They want to sit on our chair. हमारा जो assessment का हमारा जो table और chair होता है ना, round revolving chair, उस पे बैठ के मजा करना है उनको. So I'll go and place the card on my table and say, now you come and show me. The child comes, sits on my revolving chair, looks at the card, picks up and gives it to me. My goal is to get this child to respond. Okay? You try 2 times, you try 3 times, say, ma'am, ye kuch bhi nahi sunta, ma'am. Nahi karta hai ye. Especially when I say, nahi karta hai. My children also don't listen to me. But I can't give up, right? Change your strategies. There are certain times when, simple things, simple modifications will work. That you will learn only when you're sitting inside the session. No therapist can write down these things and come and tell you later, ki do this, do that. It's not possible. The second thing is, it is not necessary that you see a speech therapist every day. This is not IIT coaching. This is not math science tuition. Even math science tuition, the children refuse to go every day. Why do you want to take your children for speech therapy every day? It's not necessary. It's more than enough if you schedule your session 2 or max to max 3 times a week. Okay, I'm very lazy. I see them only once a week. But activities are given to the parents to do at home for that 1 week. Before you see my face the next week, okay, agla hafta before you come and see me, you should have finished your activities. Otherwise, the parents will be on fire. Okay, that is how that strategy works. I'm telling you, it's time tested. So 2 times or 3 times max, so that the therapist is able to monitor the child's progress from time to time and keep modifying the activities and strategies easily. Okay, now speech therapy is not something that can be taught within half an hour or 1 hour. It begins from the time the child wakes up in the morning till the time the child goes to bed at night. Now, can I be present in all your homes 24/7? No, no therapist can do that. Okay, so within the half an hour or 40 minutes during the session, you are given a demo, a live demo of what you should be doing throughout the day for the next 1 week. That is how it works. And what is important is carrying out all the activities given to your child by the therapist at home without making excuses. Okay, that defines success. So how long, most important question, and the question that I am asked almost every day, ma'am, how long does my child need speech therapy? The answer is, I do not know. Pata hi nahi mujhe. I don't know. Really, I don't know. Because it is governed by so many variables. So many things. How much stimulation you are giving. Okay, whether the goals that we have taken, it's all trial and error. I'm very ambitious. I want to do this, I want to teach my child all these goals. And for some reason, it may not work. Okay, and I set a timeline. Within 3 weeks, I want to finish these goals. Many times it doesn't happen. आप daily दाल बनाते हो, चावल बनाते हो. Every day perfect आता है क्या? It doesn't. One day salt is less, one day it's more, one day it's burned. Do you throw it into the garbage? You adjust and eat? No. Similarly, I mean, we are all human beings. This profession has a lot of human touch to it. Okay, so let's work like human beings and not like robots or computers. It's not possible. So you have a long-term goal set and you have short-term goal set and an achievable timeline also set. Don't stress if you're not able to achieve it within that timeline. Okay, all these timelines are set for you and not for your child. The timelines are set for you so that you can work on these things. There is no hard and fast rule that the child should learn that skill in 3 weeks. Okay? So, I want to say one thing. Next slide, please. I want parents to start believing in their children and stop overthinking, because this, of late, I've seen is really rubbing off on the child. And so let's look at these bubbles here. Okay, so on the left side, I've written down what the speech therapist needs to do. Okay, and on the other side, what the parents has to do. Okay, so number one, we have to set realistic goals. So हमारा काम क्या है? आप लोगों का काम क्या है? It's neatly defined here. Okay, and you might ask me one question. I know I'm reading all your minds. इतना कुछ हमें करना है, तो हम आपके पास क्यों आना है? Why do I have to pay you? You are paying me for my time, for my thought process, for me to make that goal plan, for me to understand your child as my child and set the goal plan and get the ball rolling. Okay, that's all. I am not afraid of making this commitment here in this forum. 30% is the effort of the therapist and 70% is the effort of the parents, and only those parents who have put in the 70% effort have become successful. Okay, so setting realistic goals हमारा काम है. Second, design an effective therapy program. Simply I can't design something fancy and give it and say, go, जाके करो, करके आओ, एक हफ्ते में. Doesn't work. Whatever is possible, realistically, mother might be working from home, working elsewhere. All these points have to be considered. See, we also understand that you all have a life. Okay, but your priority is your child, who requires a little more attention and, facilitation to acquire things that neurotypical children acquire very easily and organically. Okay, so we are there to give you that push. So we take all these things into consideration that you are working. And I remember when Deepa once met me, she asked me, I don't know, I'm confused whether I have to continue my job or not. I said, you have to. Remember? I told her, you have to work. What's wrong with you? She's super qualified and she has to work. Otherwise, she'll go mad if she's going to be running behind Meera 24/7. But effective, the word effective is what is important here. 15-20 minutes में effectively क्या कर सकते हैं हम? That is what we will provide for you. And activities for each goal. Okay, you saw the way Hema ma'am had put up activities. Okay, so this is the goal. I have one activity. If the child is not liking that activity, then it is my responsibility to give you a plan A, plan B, plan C for that. You come and tell me, ma'am, this is not working. So many parents. I have Arjun's mom sitting here. So many times she says, ma'am, ye kar raha hai ma'am, lekin this activity is just not working for me. ठीक है, right, let me choose an alternative activity and give it to you. So activities for each goal has to be designed and explained to you all. That is our job. And again, reinforcement strategies. Okay, reinforcement plays such an important role. Rewarding your child. हर एक achievement को reward करना है, be it small or big. Okay, so that is going to make that happen again and again and again and again. Okay, so if I tell you, you look beautiful, and I keep telling that to you every time I see you, you have so much validation. When you go stand in front of the mirror, you will feel beautiful. You need to make your child feel like that. Okay, and highlight nuances during therapy. So the nuances, Parul ji, nuances को क्या कहते हैं हिंदी में? ठीक है, गूगल ट्रांसलेट में देख के बोलिए. सो न्यूआंसेस इज बारीकियां. ओके, सो द स्मॉल लिटिल थिंग्स, लाइक एज आई सेड, लाइटिंग कितना होना चाहिए. यू नो, देयर आर मेनी वीडियोज व्हेन पेरेंट्स सेंड मी, द चाइल्ड इज नॉट responding to the parent, they are not picking the flash card. That's because they are sitting against the light. Small thing I will say, turn the table, make the child sit right under the light, the child will be able to do it. He will pick it up. Okay, these are nuances, small things that we will teach you, we will guide you through that. Strategies for schooling. Okay, so many parents come with a preconceived, fixated thought that my child is going to go to a special school. Okay, no, your child will not go to a special school, and I have to keep saying this again and again and again to the parents. Like I keep telling you, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. I have to keep telling the parents, no, your child will go only to a mainstream school. Okay, because they have the ability to do so. So this is what is our job. Now what do you have to do? Very simple things, okay? 1, involvement and engagement. आपका पूरा mind, दिमाग, attention, focus therapy session में होना चाहिए. 1. 2, follow your therapist. We are giving you easy steps. Okay? We are giving you ready to make bhel puri. All you need to do is cut everything, put it inside, mix it, eat it and enjoy it. So that the ready-made steps, I'm giving it to you. 3, redundancy, consistency and practice. Repeat the goddamn exercises again and again and again. That's why I give you that 1 week. Why do I not want to see your face for 1 week? Because I want you to go back home and do it again and again and again and again. And that is what is going to help your child get conditioned and perform. Conditioning happens only when you repeat it. Okay, provide feedback. You have to tell me what you are doing, what difficulties you have, where you're getting stuck, कहाँ अटक जा रहे हो आप, कहाँ पे difficulty हो रहा है. We will have to sit and discuss together वो क्यों हो रहा है, उसको कैसे हम solve कर सकते हैं. Okay, so unless and otherwise you give me the feedback. So I would have sent a strategy. 2 weeks mother won't show up. मेरा interest भी ऐसे नीचे जाएगा. I am not motivated. But you know, those parents who keep asking me, मैम ये ऐसे हो रहा है, इस आगे कैसे जा सकती हूँ मैं? How do I move forward now? When they keep giving me feedback, I like to give you more from my end. Okay? Document progress. Very, very, very important. We Indians miserably fail at documentation. So if you go to the US, Okay, if a home therapist is visiting their a family, they go with, documents. Apple bolna hai aaj. Child ko apple bolna hai, 10 बार बोलना है. Child, they do the therapy session, 10 बार नहीं बोलता, 2 बार बोलता है. Though they have to document in their progress sheet 2 out of 10. Okay, and they'll say, today's achievement, 20% consistency. This is the level of documentation that happens abroad. हम कुछ भी नहीं, मैं भी नहीं करती हूँ, to be very frank, because we get so consumed and absorbed into the session that we forget to document. But please, parents, document, take videos. I don't have a single video. I'm feeling ashamed when I saw Hema ma'am. So many videos she's documented and kept. I've worked with children for 18 years and I hardly have any videos of my session. Hardly. I mean, it's a learning for me also. I have to start documenting. Because when you know something, 1 month of documentation, when you go back to the first day, you will actually know from where to where you have come. Kahan se kahan aap progress kiya hai. Okay? So document the progress. So these are the things that you as parents are expected to do. I'm nobody to say you have to do, but I can say that you are expected to do. So defining success. Agla slide, please. What defines success? Every achievement is a milestone. Now, if I'm working on Oro-motor and in the first week of the child is not able to move the tongue to the right. And after 3 weeks, the child is able to do that is an achievement. Okay? After 7 weeks, if the child is able to stretch and move the tongue to this point, that is an achievement. Okay, so every single achievement is a milestone to celebrate. Do not succumb to pressure. Please, ये WhatsApp groups जो है ना, जिसमें स्कूल का WhatsApp group, मेरा child ऐसे कर रहा है, this is my child's progress, this video, that, oh my God, my child is not doing all this. Even I succumb. When my son doesn't write, when he doesn't come back and tell me, आज स्कूल में क्या हुआ, वो बोलता है, फोन निकाल, उसमें व्हाट्सएप में जाके देखो, क्लास में क्या हुआ, उसमें पता चलेगा. Okay, so we succumb to pressure as parents. Don't succumb to pressure. Don't compare yourself to other parents and what other children are achieving. Our children are unique. It has taken me 15 years of parenting and putting my first child as a guinea pig to understand this. And give your child the time to bloom. This is something Rekha Aunty has always told all of us, right? Give your child the time to bloom. She told me Bubbly spoke at 11. Auntie, yes or no? Bubbly spoke at 11. Okay, what went wrong because of that? Nothing went wrong. But when she spoke beautifully. Can I tell you one thing? My son, my younger one, spoke at 2.5. उसके पहले एक शब्द भी नहीं. I am doing everything correctly. Everything right. He didn't speak. But when he spoke, he spoke. He spoke well. I consistently put in that effort. Every single day. It will pay off. Okay? Give your child the time to bloom. The problem is we are all in a blasting hurry. I don't know for what. What are we going to achieve? By, setting time targets for yourself and for your children. Nothing you will achieve. Do whatever has to be done in the most relaxed manner. You will achieve it faster, even faster. Next one, the moment you put your child in an inclusive school, tell yourself, give yourself a pat on your back and say that, yes, I have arrived, I have achieved. You have worked against all odds, broken norms, social stigma, everything, and you have put your child in an inclusive school, and that is a big milestone. So for all those parents who are sending your children to inclusive schools, hats off to you all. Make them happy, confident, and independent individuals. At the end of the day, that's what we expect. That's what we should expect from all our children. Be it children with Down syndrome or be it neurotypical children, all the siblings out here. Okay, now let's go back in time and give them the pressure-free, stress-free lives that we were fortunate to, enough to lead. At this point, I want to call Deepa here to just, I give you 1 minute, Deepa, careful, 1 minute to just highlight and say what it takes for a parent, on a day-to-day basis to achieve these things. Please.
I think, see, the therapist gives us a lot of techniques, okay? And that is to be followed absolutely. There is no doubt about it. Meera started oral placement therapy when she was 1. She did not connect with the therapist. She hated the therapist. She would cry. And then I met Sharanya, and Sharanya was a blessing for me. She still struggled with doing it, but we were just consistent. So if your oral placement therapist or your speech therapist is giving you some activities, please follow it. So, in fact, I got very stressed because until she was 3, she was not talking. But once we started, 2.5. But by 3, she was saying a lot of words. And I had tried many things. I had tried one doctor from London, from various places. It did not work. But Sharanya gave me some techniques and it helped brilliantly. The other thing is constantly talking to the child, because all the massages, all that help, right, with oral placement therapy. But the child is constantly seeing you, sitting face to face with the child, talking to the child. We make sure we catch up with our families very regularly, only because we want a lot of social interaction. Schooling gives that social interaction. So never say my child is not ready for school. No, I put Meera into school at 18 months. Okay, she was going to a mother-toddler program. I used to go with her to the school 3 hours a day, spend time despite working. And I'm a working professional, have a regular job, but still I used to take that time out and go, and if I couldn't go, at least her dadi would go or a helper would go. But interaction with children is most important, all right? And reading books. I started reading to Meera by the time she was, when she was around 8 or 10 months. Every night I did not sleep without reading a book to her. In fact, somebody told me that you should read face to face, because I used to, Meera used to sit on my lap, but she loved that. So I said, okay, if she likes that, I'm not going to make her sit in front of me, because she wants that warmth of the parent at night. And it's been a routine for the last 5 years. Every day, even if she's super sleepy, even when I'm traveling, I carry books. I will carry at least 6 story books. She will not sleep without reading. And sometimes if I turn the light off, she'll say, Mama, book. I'll have to put on the light, read those books, and only then she will sleep. So reading helps to really build that vocabulary. Sharanya talked about having a bank, right? So your maintenance corpus in an apartment. Your maintenance corpus is those books that you read to your child. The more you read, they're picking up vocabulary. They may not say it, but suddenly you will see a growth spurt. 1 year, 2 years later, that will come out when they start talking, and you'll be like, wow, she picked up this word. At 4, she was saying tough words like ambulance, transportation. Today she says, Mama, I want to go to moon. I want to sit in spaceship, because she's read all this in the book, right? It's these small things. The complete Pepper series, Bubble series. My biggest investment was books, right?
Can you talk about how much time you would spend on a day-to-day basis for therapy activities?
So, speech therapy doesn't take too much time, to be honest, okay? It does not take too much time, okay? 20 minutes a day. It's a massages. The child hates it if you're constantly going to use those deep vibes, put your hands into the mouth. No, they don't like it. So 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, 10 to 15 minutes in the evening. That's all that it takes. It takes 15 minutes to read a book, a few books in the night. These are all small books, 10 pages. That's all that it is. Yes, dear. So it doesn't take too much time, but therapy happens throughout the day without even you realizing it when you're constantly talking to the child. So that is the key thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. She's a star mom, and I want each one of you all to become a star mom. Thank you. And all it takes is just that 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's all. Just do it. Okay. Now moving on to my next presentation. on Oro-motor exercises. ये ओरोमोटर स्टिमुलेशन, ओरो सेंसरी स्टिमुलेशन वगैरह क्या होता है? What is all this? Next slide, please. So, basically, these are specialized exercises, okay, which are done to improve. Now, the target organs are your tongue, all the oral structures, tongue, lips, cheeks, and jaw, okay. Now, what do these exercises do? They are specialized exercises which help to build strength, movement, and coordination between these oral structures. Why is this important? Strength, obviously you need strength. I need some strength to if I want to push Samiksha, I need some strength, right? Building strength, movement. Now, when any muscle is resting for too long, okay, it is wasted. I'm sure my physiotherapist here, Mitu, you will agree. Unless you move, unless there is mobility, excuse me, chai de dijiye please. I was drinking my tea. Okay, so unless you give movement, your organs are not going to show that output. So you have to constantly keep moving them. Mobility is very important. Third is coordination. Now, it's very simple. It happens so easily and organically for us. So we don't realize how difficult it is when it doesn't happen. So if I have to say something like caterpillar, watermelon, Massachusetts, okay? You know how difficult the tongue takes different positions and shapes inside the oral cavity within fractions of a second. Within fractions of a second, it moves like this, okay? And imagine if your child's tongue is larger, slightly thicker in mass, heavier, thoda heavy hota hai, oral cavity chota hai, keeping the tongue inside the oral cavity itself is a difficult thing. How is the child going to say watermelon, caterpillar, Massachusetts, blah, 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 blah? That too with clarity and, impeccable intelligibility and all. You have to give it exercise. Then it will move, okay? Now, so the benefits are, it works on the oral skills necessary for supporting speech as well as feeding. So the same organs are used for both speech and feeding, right? So this is how it benefits. Now, let's look at these exercises one after the other. So I'm going to show you a few exercises for, lip strengthening and a few for the tongue, because there are so many exercises, I can't be showing each and every exercise here. Many parents tell me, ma'am, मैं massage करती हूँ. What massage? क्या? What massage? कैसे करना है? कितना प्रेशर डालना है, कितना स्ट्रेच करना है, आपको पता है? कहाँ पे देखा है आप? YouTube पे. There are 100 zillions of videos on YouTube. Frankly, even I see some of those videos when I run out of ideas. But the edge I have over you guys is, I have practically been taught how much pressure to put and how to stretch each of these muscles. So it's easier for me to look at those videos and learn. But how will you all learn? Now the trick here is not doing facial kar rahe ho kya? No. You have to target muscles that require help. Not simply do a facial massage on your child. Now it requires, massage is on one hand, and massage becomes meaningless after a point. After a point it becomes slightly meaningless. Your child has already started talking and has certain amount of strength, endurance and stability in the oral cavity. You don't have to be sitting and doing oral massages with your finger. It makes more sense for, younger kids, right? So the next thing is, how do I then train the lips? How do I then train my tongue? So, आप में से कितने लोग जिम जाते हो? Gym? Nobody? Okay, few of y'all. So when you go to the gym and you're working on your biceps, okay, they give you something called bicep curls. So you start with 2 kilos, 2 kg dumbbell. Then when you're very comfortable with 2 kg, they give you 4 kilo dumbbells. Then when you become a pro, you do 10 kg dumbbells and put up a reel on Instagram. Okay, saying that I can do 10K. So you have to do the same kind of strength building with your lips. How are you going to do it? It's a delicate organ. Okay, when you wear lipstick only, it becomes dry and difficult to manage. You need to maintain lips. It's something that people see. How do you work on the lips, delicate lips of your children? Okay, so this thing, this ice cream ka stick, kuchi we call it in Tamil, ice cream kuchi, stick. It can do wonders. You can do a lot of things with that. So I will just demonstrate 1 or 2 exercises that I usually do with kids with this ice cream stick. So I have here with me these ice cream sticks, okay, thin ones. It's okay. Cost 10 rupees for this entire packet. Give me this, no? ये भी चलता है. ये भी चलता है. Okay, so place the ice cream stick. You want me to go up? Difficulties of being short. So this is the ice cream stick, okay? Now I'm going to place it in between my lips. Just watch, in between my lips. When I remove it, I'm able to remove it easily. It doesn't get stuck. Atakta nahi, okay? Okay? Now that's when you know whether your child is holding it between the lips or using its jaw or teeth to hold it. ये बच्चे बहुत smart है. You know what they do? They will do this. They will take it, they'll keep it in between their lips, and when you say hold for 10 counts, they will take it inside and park it on the jaw. Okay? So you will know that they are cheating when you remove it. So if it is on the jaw or in between the teeth, nahi niklega. There is resistance. So you'll feel the resistance when it comes out. Okay? So what you do is, you put the ice cream stick and ask them to hold it for 10 counts. 10 counts is your baseline. It can be 5 counts, it can be 3 counts. But slowly build, go ahead and build from your baseline. Then, what do? Now imagine this is your 2 kilo dumbbells. Now after this, after they have achieved certain number of counts, you have to add weight to this stick. Okay? ये मैं clay लेके आई, Play-Doh. We all have this. If you don't like to give your child this, I brought this because I can't bring atta or maida from Chennai. So you just mix, daily आप रोटी बनाते हो, take some atta and keep it aside and take almost equal amounts of this atta and add weight to the stick and now ask them to hold. Now easy way of making them hold is to make them say ooh. So when they say ooh, the lips come forward and you can slip this in between the lips. Hold for 10 counts. Got it? If you achieve 10 counts, now go on to increasing the weight, add more atta to it. Increase the weight some more. Now your child will show all the true colors will come out. See here. ऐसे हिलेगा, बैलेंस नहीं कर सकते, होल्ड नहीं कर सकते. Okay, at this point, if they are finding it very difficult, you can take out a little atta and gradually, even without their knowing, progress. Build strength. Now, what is the concept here? When you hold a stick without weights between your lips, you don't have to do anything. You just have to keep your lips closed. But when you start adding weight, what happens is your lips start coming together and a tight seal is made like this. Okay, so from here, watch my lips, from here to my jaw and teeth are not involved at all in this whole process. Okay, so this is one example of building lip strength. Okay, and it's even simpler way is just make your child and sit in front of you and say, do this. Okay, the child will look at you like I say, you have gone mad, and he or she will run away. Okay, so the activity has to be interesting. It should be fun. And every time the child is able to hold 10 counts, give the child a reinforcement. Okay, they don't bother about your clap, wap and all. Bring them into a system of something called token economy. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, just like this. Just say, ooh. It should be easily slipped in and easily taken out. Got it? Now, there are different things that, you can do to build lip strength. This is just one activity. Then you can also use, tissue. Can you go to the previous slide, please? Previous. You can also use, many of our girls, small young children, they love wearing lipstick. So why don't you put some lipstick on their lips or use beetroot paste, apply it, fold tissue paper, okay, and mark a circle here, a semicircle and a semicircle here, okay. Slip this between their lips. Press. I'm wearing smudge-proof lipstick. Okay, so the impression of the lipstick would come here on the upper and the lower edge, and it will form a nice circle-like, design. This is something you can do, okay? Slowly fold it multiple times to increase the thickness of this tissue paper and make them press. So the harder they press, the tighter will be the lip closure and the darker will be the impression on the tissue. Okay, now these are all things that were not written in our speech and language books. We were not taught these. I never learned these things from books. You have to use your brains. You have to create. Look at the creativity that has gone into all the activities that Hema ma'am showed us. You have to create activity. And if you're not able to create, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. We will do it and give it to you. That's what we are here for. To guide you through these things. Create activities. Tell you ways and means of doing these things. So the next is tongue strengthening. Now again, I'm going to use my good old ice cream kuchi. Okay? So it's very difficult to get your child to sit in front of you and say, ye karo, It's boring. It's boring for me also. So use honey, chocolate sauce, cheese spread, Nutella, whatever your child likes. Dahi, okay. One child that came to me likes pickle, achar, okay. So I've even used all that for therapy. So, you just take little bit, take it on the ice cream stick and get your child to chaatna hai. Put it here at the corner of your lip and get your child to lick it from the stick. Okay? Initially, it will be difficult. It will be very difficult. Don't expect the child to do this much of stretching in the first few times. Keep it inside. This is easier. Let them start moving their tongue inside the oral cavity first, from left to right, right to left. Then you can keep it outside and ask them to bring it out and itna stretch, okay? So you can do this. The other thing is tongue elevation, okay? So you have to help your child lift the tongue. If you have noticed many speech sounds across languages, not just English or Tamil, all regional languages have t, d, n, l, r, okay? All these sounds require the tongue to So, help your child lift the tongue up. It's a very, very important exercise for us as speech therapists. Okay, so how do you do this? Trust me, this is difficult. I want you all to do one exercise. Open your mouth, like nice and wide. Hold and lock your jaw, okay? Now, lift your tongue up and down. You need to put it down and touch the floor of your mouth. Ten times. Are your jaws paining? Yes? Isn't it? How do you expect your child to do this? But it's very important for your child to do this because all our children do this. They can do it. And they're doing it with the support of the mandible, the lower jaw. The lower jaw gives the thrust and it pushes the tongue upward. Which is why many of our children are not able to say t clearly. They replace it with the sound t. If you say tea time, they will say tea time. Tea time. Why? Because the tongue is flat. It touches the roof. It touches the roof of the mouth. But not like this, like this. Tea time versus tea time. The tip of the tongue has to make contact with the palate to get the sharp t sound. Got it? So this tongue elevation is a very, very important exercise, and you can go back to using your ice cream stick and slowly get the tongue to move upward. So again, the most important thing, hold the child's lower jaw. Don't allow the lower jaw to support. Only then you will be able to establish independent movement of the tongue. अपने आप ऊपर नीचे जाना है tongue independently बिना jaw support. Okay, so beginning itself, don't keep the ice cream stick here on top. Okay, you've kept chocolate here, you're keeping the stick here and expecting the child to lick the chocolate off the stick. Okay, and if the child doesn't get the chocolate, he's surely going to whack you and get irritated. Okay, so to begin with, put the stick in between, okay, in the middle of the oral cavity and make the target easy for your child. Okay, so do this. Gradually increase the height, okay, so that the tongue moves from here to here and all the way up. Now this is not going to happen as easily as I demonstrated. First few weeks the tongue won't move at all. Then slowly you will start seeing the tip curl like this. A small movement like this you will see. Then slowly they will start, taking the honey or the chocolate from the middle of the mouth. Now, this is a long process. You have to play a patient game. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And then, orosensory. Yes, sensory क्या होता है? Ma'am spoke about this, thankfully. I'm not going to elaborate on this. You have to expose the nerve endings inside your mouth, okay, and stimulate them. It's not enough if you just work on the muscle. You have to work on the nerve endings that supply the muscles. Now, this can be done in 3 ways. Work on temperature, taste, and texture. So, as Hema ma'am said, give your children different tastes. Sour, bitter, spicy, sweet, salty. Give them the exposure to that is a natural sensory exercise that you're giving them. Similarly, give them hot, warm, cold, different temperatures. Okay, so when you do your oral exercises, you can put some stick inside the freezer and then do, it makes a lot of difference. It stimulates the sensory pathways. Texture, don't give mashed food all the time, soft food all the time. Give them dry, gooey, sticky, all kind of possible textures, hard, soft, chaklis. Let them learn to bite. Let them learn to use their muscles. Okay? So this is sensory stimulation. That's it. So this is only a basic overview of what oro-motor and oro-sensory exercises are. Okay? Now I throw the floor open to questions. Let's keep it short because we're really running out of time. Yeah, any questions?
These child, madam, they used to, instead of chewing, they swallow.
Because they are underutilizing their oral muscles. They are not using their oral muscles to the full potential. So they prefer to swallow. Now when you work on lip seal, the first exercise I gave, putting the ice cream stick between the lip, working on lip seal also has an indirect effect on swallowing. Unless you seal your lip completely, you will not be able to swallow effectively also. And that has tremendous impact on stopping drooling. Okay, if your child drools, that will also stop when you work on lip. So unless you do these oro-motor exercises, your child is not going to use these muscles at all. So this exercise facilitates chewing also, sir. All these exercises.
Please come again, madam.
All these exercises helps your cheek muscles, jaw muscles, tongue muscles, and that strengthening will in turn be seen on the quality of chewing of the child. It really helps. It really helps in chewing. But you have to try with different textures, as I said. That's why oro-motor and sensory, doing both is important. Okay. Simply, if you keep on massaging 10 minutes a day, it's not going to take you anywhere, parents.
Also, madam, these child, they used to, they turn their mouth in a special different direction, like this.
Mm.
They do a different type of movement of the mouth, which is not very easy to look at.
That's because of lack of coordination and control of the jaw muscles. Also, all of us have a stronger and a weaker side. So, when we exercise or do yoga, if you stand on one side, you'll be able to stand better. Then stand on the other side, you will wobble. Yeah. Sir, we will take these questions probably on a one-on-one session. So, there is something called a strong side and a weak side. Okay? Let's go for general questions now, please.
It's a lip seal, right? If we make it out, I got it, your point. Hello? Yeah. You told about the lip seal. Is it for the lip seal or the lip exercise? Like if we put our finger like this, do it like this, that also gets a lip seal. That doesn't get a lip seal, it's a lip exercise though. Whereas if you put the stick, sometimes they don't take it out. Whereas if you put this one, they will
It
put
varies from child to child. Okay. Some children beautifully take to stick. Some children don't like it. Some children bite my finger.
Yeah.
So I'm scared to put my finger in between their lips, you know. So you can even take anything edible, atta, make a flat thing out of it and keep it between and ask them to press the atta between their lips. But between the lips. So when you take it out, you will know if the teeth impression is there, that means they are biting and they are not using their lips. Okay? So it varies from child to child. You can innovate, create as per how you want for your child.
Whether that is effective also?
I have not used my finger, so I don't know. But if it works for your child, good. Yeah. Last question. Yeah.
मैम जब क ख ग घ बोलते हैं तब एयर में रहती है अपने लिप्स.
हाँ?
क ख ग तब टच नहीं होती है.
Of course touch होता है. क बोलिए ख. Back of your tongue touches the roof of your palate.
पॉइंट नीचे टच होता है. क नीचे टच होगा ना मैम.
Your tip of your tongue will not. Give me your hand. Come on. When you say k, please all of you put your hand here, over here. Say k, gh. Can you feel the movement of the tongue? Tip of the tongue will not move. Tip of the tongue does not move. The back of the tongue makes contact with the roof of the mouth, which is the palate. Okay, for ch, j, the tip will not touch, back will not touch. The middle part of your tongue will touch the roof. So for every sound it varies. So what is your question?
तो वो जो भी होगा वो लिप के जो प्रेशर से इसको पकड़ के उससे
मैम आप ना शरण्या मैम से अलग से मिलेंगे ना तब आप ये पूछिए और वो आपको बताएंगे बहुत अच्छे तरीके से. रेखा माँ के सेशन में भी अभी आप पूछ सकते हैं. अच्छा पेरेंट्स, अभी एक अनाउंसमेंट है. एक बच्चा है, मिल गया? अच्छा मिल गया.
बंद कर देंगे.
ओके. सो ये बहुत ही बढ़िया सेशन शरण्या मैम का रहा है. एक बार जोरदार तालियां. अथक रूप से इतनी देर से वो आपसे लगातार इतनी एनर्जी के साथ बात कर रही हैं. तालियों में भी थोड़ा सा जोश तो आपकी होना चाहिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच. थैंक यू शरण्या मैम. मतलब ये आउटस्टैंडिंग. थैंक यू वेरी मच. समीक्षा.
We appreciate the talk you just gave, Dr. Sharanya. Though it was simple, it was effective and profound. I'm sure every member of the audience understood how important it is to work as a close team with a speech pathologist. Thanks, Deepa, for sharing that anecdote and making us understand that how important it is to listen to your expert and continue to persevere and practice till we achieve the set goal. It's more of simplifying than intellectually understanding it. I think we are trying to intellectualize what the simple exercise means. So keep persevering till you achieve the set goal. Thanks a bunch, Dr. Sharanya ma'am. It was always an enlightening session with you. So here is an important announcement. The book we launched yesterday here of our dentist couple, we have here in the hall. Those who requested and has already booked a copy with them, they are carrying those extra copies with them. So please contact Dr. Nidhi to purchase them. So now, Rekha Ma, we go for a 10-minute short break. We go for a 10-minute short. Do we have time? No? So you people have really exhausted that break time. So we continue here. So for this next, Ma, you are ready for come? Shivani ma'am, are you here? Yeah, she's waiting in a corner. She's not showing up. So can we hear it? Our storyteller, Shivani auntie. So we were waiting to hear. No. You need hand mic? I don't have a PPT, so. You don't need a PPT.
Hello.
नहीं खड़े होके adjust.
मुझको यकीन है जो कहती थी मेरी नानी कहती थी, नहीं मुझको यकीन है जो कहती थी मेरी अम्मी कहती थी, जब मेरे बचपन के दिन थे चांद में परियां रहती थी। हमें हमारी दादी नानी जब सुनाती थी कि चांद में परियां रहती हैं तो हम उस पर यकीन करते थे। और इधर शिवानी मैम जब अपनी कहानियाँ सुनाती हैं तो वो जो कहती हैं उस पर यकीन करने को दिल चाहता है। आप उनकी कहानियों के साथ बह जाते हैं, आप वो देखते हैं जो वो दिखाती हैं, आप वो महसूस करते हैं जो वो आपको महसूस कराना चाहती हैं। हमारी ग्रेट स्टोरी टेलर, कहानीकार शिवानी मैम का जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत है।
थैंक यू पारुल सो मच। इतने प्यार से इन्होंने इंट्रोडक्शन दिया है तो एक वापस तोहफा मेरा भी बनता है।
जी बिल्कुल।
आई विल डू इट मोर इन हिंदी सो यू डोंट हैव टू ट्रांसलेट।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Okay, so thank you so much everyone for so much love that you're giving me. I hope I can live up to all that expectation and love that you're giving me. nahin. So I think I will divide the session into two halves. My one session is for parents because storytelling is equally important for parents. I believe very strongly कि अगर parents stress free, positive, optimist nahi hai, then I think the child's development will always be hampered. So I'm going to start छोटी सी story से. मैं रामायण से एक छोटी सी कहानी ले रही हूँ. And the story is about हनुमान जी. तो जब हनुमान जी छोटे थे, वायुपुत्र थे, बहुत सारे पावर थी, कहीं भी उड़ के कभी भी जा सकते थे और शैतान बहुत थे. तो जब ऋषि मुनि जो थे वो पूजा अपने यज्ञ वगैरह करते थे, वो जाते थे, शैतानी करते थे, तंग करके उड़ जाते थे. तो एक बार क्या हुआ, एक ऋषि को बहुत गुस्सा आया. तो उस ऋषि ने कहा जाओ, इतना परेशान करते हो तुम हमें, अब तुम्हारी सारी पावर्स चली गई हैं. तो हनुमान जी बहुत रोए, बड़े परेशान हुए, भाग के अपनी माँ के पास गए. माँ ने कहा ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, इतनी पावर है, वायुपुत्र हैं. तो सारे के सारे देवी देवता इकट्ठे हो गए, सब ऋषि के पास गए कि जो तुमने श्राप दिया है ना, ये वापस लेना पड़ेगा. ये तो वायुपुत्र हैं, तो माफ कर दो, बच्चा है, छोटा है अभी. तो ऋषि ने कहा श्राप देने के बाद मैं उसे वापस नहीं ले सकता, लेकिन हाँ चलो, तुम इतना ज्यादा रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हो तुम लोग सब, तो एक चीज कर सकता हूं कि जब कोई विद्वान, कोई बड़ा इंसान हनुमान को उसकी खोई हुई पावर्स के बारे में याद दिलाएगा, तब हनुमान को अपनी पावर्स याद आ जाएंगी. अब कट टू मेनी इयर्स लेटर, रामचंद्र जी तट पर खड़े हुए हैं, सारी हनुमान जो मंकी की सेना है, बंदरों की सेना है, खड़ी हुई है. जाना है लंका देखने के सीता मैया है कहाँ, अरे उनकी लोकेशन पता करनी है. अब किसी को मालूम नहीं, जाएं तो कैसे जाएं, बड़े बड़े मंकीज हैं, बड़े बड़े राजा हैं वहां पर, सब कह रहे हैं अरे मैं जा तो सकता हूं लेकिन इतनी पावर बचेगी नहीं कि मैं वापस आ पाऊं. तो सब एक दूसरे को देख रहे हैं कि क्या करें. तो वहां खड़े हैं एक कोने में जंबावान, और जंबावान मुस्कुराते हैं, और जंबावान देखते हैं हनुमान बड़ा सोच में, हनुमान जी खड़े हुए हैं बिल्कुल एक कोने में चुपचाप. तो आवाज लगाते हैं अरे हनुमान, तुम वहां क्या कर रहे हो, चुपचाप खड़े हुए हो, तुम जाओ ना. तो हनुमान जी कहते हैं मैं, अगर इतने बड़े बड़े हनुमान हैं यहाँ पे, इतने बड़े बड़े राजा हैं, इतने बड़े बंदर हैं, बंदरों के रहे तो कुछ नहीं हूं, मैं कैसे जाऊंगा. तब जंबावान उन्हें याद दिलाते हैं कि तुम भूल गए, तुम्हारे अंदर इतनी सारी छुपी हुई पावर्स हैं, जाओ और पता लगा के आओ कि सीता मैया कहाँ हैं. एंड दैट इज व्हेन हनुमान जी रिमेंबर्स हिज लॉस्ट पावर्स. Why am I telling this story? Because each one of us is the Hanumanji here. I think we have all forgotten that we have the power inside us and we are trying to find it somewhere else. Look within yourselves. आप हर माँ, हर पिता में वो शक्ति है कि वो अपने बच्चे को कहीं भी पहुंचा सकते हैं. आपको बिलीव होना जरूरी है. Many a times when we are stuck, I'm going to give you one hands-on activity जो आप कर सकते हो, चाहे तो आप अभी अपने नोटपैड्स निकाल के कर सकते हो. As parents हम बहुत बार stuck हो जाते हैं कि अब क्या करें, अब अपने बच्चे के साथ करें. मैं वो एक पेरेंट हूँ. एज ऑफ टुडे आई एम वरिड. माई डॉटर इज 13 years old. वो लिख नहीं सकती, वो पढ़ नहीं सकती. शी डजंट हैव अ स्पेशल स्कूल अराउंड जहाँ वो जा सकती है, और मुझे नहीं पता मैं उसके साथ क्या करूँ. एंड आई एम श्योर डिपेंडिंग ऑन द एज बहुत सारे ऐसे पेरेंट्स हैं अभी जो यही कंफ्यूजन और इसी डाउट को झेल रहे हैं. ड्रॉ अ सर्कल. बिकॉज होता क्या है कि हम लोग काफ़ी चीज़ें सोचते हैं. वो ये भी नहीं कर रहा मेरा बच्चा, मैं ऐसे भी चाहता हूँ ये भी करे, ये भी करे. एंड देन वी लूज ट्रैक. वी फेल टू प्रायोरिटाइज कि क्या ज़रूरत है आज बच्चे की. सो ड्रॉ अ सर्कल एंड वी गोइंग टू मेक अ स्टोरी. यू ड्रॉ अ सर्कल. आप उसको 4 हिस्सों में डिवाइड कीजिए. डिवाइडेड इनटू 4 पार्ट्स. ऑन द फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट, जो पहला हिस्सा है, उसमें आप लिखिए कि आपकी परेशानी क्या है. राइट, लाइक से राइट योर 2 प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स. 2 चैलेंजेस क्या हैं. आप सेकंड जो हिस्सा बना है उसमें आप लिखिए कि आप वहां पर पहुंचेंगे कैसे. राइट, सपोज आपको स्पीच की प्रॉब्लम है, बच्चा बोल नहीं रहा है, तो आप स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट के पास जाएंगे ना. वाई डज इट हेल्प टू राइट इट डाउन? बिकॉज यू कैन रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन इट. आपको दिखेगा, वो आपसे बात करेगा वो कागज वापस. सेकंड में आप लिखिए कि आप वहां पर पहुंचेंगे कैसे. और थर्ड जो हिस्सा है उसमें आप अपना 6 months 1 year का गोल लिखिए. 6 महीने में आप क्या चाहते हैं आपका बच्चा क्या अचीव करे. 1 साल में आप क्या चाहते हैं आपका बच्चा क्या अचीव करे. और जो 4th हिस्सा है उसमें आप लिखिए रिफ्लेक्ट. वो जो जर्नी आपने बनाई है उसके बारे में सोचिए. रिफ्लेक्ट अपॉन इट. दिस इज द स्टोरी दैट यू आर क्रिएटिंग. ये भी एक कहानी है और हम सब कहानियों पे ही जी रहे हैं. वी आर ऑल लिविंग ऑन स्टोरीज. इन दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव शेयर्ड अबाउट योर सेल्फ, अबाउट योर चाइल्ड, अबाउट योर जर्नीज विद ईच अदर? हाउ मेनी? वी ऑल डू दैट, राइट? वी ऑल डू दैट. हम सब अपनी कहानियां शेयर करते हैं. एंड बिलीव मी, जब हम अपनी कहानी शेयर करते हैं, इट इज वेरी थेरेप्यूटिक. It is very relaxing, very calming. And one more thing, story doesn't always have to be, which I want to tell parents, कि हम कभी कभी क्या करते हैं ना, सिर्फ हैप्पी चीज़ें दिखाते हैं या हैप्पी चीज़ें या पॉजिटिव चीज़ें दिखाते हैं, क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि हमारी कहानी जो हो वो एक अच्छी कहानी हो. जब दूसरा पेरेंट हमारे बारे में देखे तो वो एक हैप्पी स्टोरी देखे. We want to share happy stories, but it's important to share the difficult stories also. The stories which you think may bring shame or may reflect on you as a mother and your parenting skills. Because आपके जैसे पेरेंट्स और भी बहुत हैं. मुझे याद है बहुत टाइम पहले मैंने, जैसे कल भी I shared on that sibling session, मैंने शेयर किया कि मेरी छोटी बेटी ने कहा कि why do I have to take my older sister? मुझे श्रेया को अपने साथ हर जगह क्यों लेके जाना है? कहीं कभी कभी मैं उसको नहीं ले जाना चाहती. It breaks my heart to say it every time I say it, but it is the reality. और अगर मैं नहीं कहूँगी तो आपके बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स जो यहाँ बैठे हैं जो कि सिमिलर सिचुएशन में होंगे, उनको नहीं पता चलेगा कि इट्स ओके, इट इज़ अ फेज एंड इट हैपन्स. तो कहानियां अपने बारे में जब शेयर कीजिए एक दूसरे के साथ, तो मेक श्योर यू इंक्लूड बोथ पॉजिटिव एंड द सो कॉल्ड नेगेटिव स्टोरीज. नाउ दिस वाज अबाउट पेरेंट्स. द स्टोरी दैट आई टोल्ड यू, व्हाट इमोशंस डिड इट, व्हाट इमोशंस अरोज इनसाइड यू? आप लोगों के अंदर क्या, आपको क्या फीलिंग आई जब आपने वो हनुमान जी की कहानी सुनी? एनीवन? एनर्जी? हाँ, that we are all capable. It was motivating, it was encouraging, it pushed you to think कि हाँ मैं भी कर सकती हूँ, मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. Right? Similarly, when you work with stories with children, it creates the same environment with our children also. I classify storytelling into 3 parts, and I'll briefly touch upon each part. One is oral storytelling, जो आप ज़बानी कहानी सुनाते हैं. एक एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ, हाउ आई यूज्ड ओरल स्टोरी टेलिंग जस्ट एट द ड्रॉप ऑफ अ हैट. एक दिन मैं घर आई, दोपहर का टाइम था, जून का महीना था, बहुत गर्मी थी, दोपहर का टाइम था, सन वॉज राइट देयर I think about 43, 44 degrees. I lived in a joint family, and Shreya, 7 layers of clothing पहने हुए बाहर गार्डन में खड़ी हुई थी. And she was trying to call the maid जो पीछे रहती थी, उसको बुलाने की कोशिश कर रही थी, to play with her or something. उसने 2 स्वेटशर्ट, 2 स्वेटर, एक अपने फादर की जैकेट और अपने नीचे टी शर्ट और वेस्ट जो पहना हुआ था वो अलग. She was wearing and she was sweating, लाल मुंह. तो जब मैं पहुंची तो सबने कहा यार हमने उसको बोला, हमने उसको टॉय भी दिया, हमने उसको बिस्किट, whatever. They tried very hard कि वो अंदर आ जाए, but श्रेया अंदर नहीं आ रही थी. This I got to know before I reached her. So I saw her standing, red-faced, right? And I straight away went to her. I did not give her any instruction. I did not say, Shreya, please चलो ना, देखो कितनी गर्मी लग रही है, फिर आप बेहोश हो जाओगी, you'll get unwell. This is what we usually do when our children are stuck or when our children are finding it difficult to transition. है ना, एक एक्टिविटी करने से दूसरी एक्टिविटी या एक कमरे से दूसरे कमरे में जाने में कभी कभी बच्चे नहीं मानते, नहीं सुन पाते हैं. This is when you use a story. तो मैंने क्या किया, मैंने उसको बोला, exactly how I did it, I'll tell you. I said, Shreya, what are you doing? You know what happened today? आज मुझे सन ने बोला, मुझे श्रेया के साथ खेलना है. You know that? और फिर सन ने जब बोला, तो ट्रीज ने कहा, मैंने भी श्रेया के साथ खेलना है. You want to play with the sun and the trees. By these 3 lines, I have got her attention. Her eyes are locked in my eyes. My first task is fulfilled. I have got her attention. Okay? Then I say, Acha Shreya, which toy are we going to play with? Do you want to play with Hulk? No, but the trees are saying, I want to play with the kitchen set. Shreya, please, unke saath khele. By the 5th, 6th sentence, I have held her hand. I have not given her any instructions. I have got her hand and then I build on the story, जो भी दिमाग में आता है, and I start walking back with her. श्रेया पता है, you know what, we'll make pizza बनाएंगे आज. अच्छा श्रेया पता है. And she came inside the room. बस एक बार वो AC वाले कमरे में आ गई, my job was done. She had, उसका जो वो, you know, their brains freeze sometimes. क्योंकि हम इतना instruction देते हैं और हमें लगता है हम तो बच्चे को बोल रहे हैं, पर बच्चा तो सुन ही नहीं रहा है. अरे उसको 10 बार बोल चुके हो आप लोग, श्रेया आप उठ नहीं रहे हो, श्रेया आप सुनते नहीं हो, श्रेया आप कुछ बीमार हो जाओगे, श्रेया आप ये, वो ब्रेन ऑफ हो चुका है वहां पर. सो द बेस्ट वे टू गेट देयर अटेंशन इज थ्रू स्टोरीज. अनदर इंसिडेंट ऑफ ओरल स्टोरी टेलिंग. श्रेया वाज स्टैंडिंग ऑन द एज. ये एज होता है ना, बिल्कुल खिड़की के बाहर एक इतना सा प्लेटफॉर्म बना हुआ था. शी वॉज वेयरिंग अ बैग और उसने कहा मैं पैराशूट पहना हुआ है एंड मैंने जंप करना है. आई मीन आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट हर इंटेंशन वाज. वही था, घर में सबने कोशिश कर लिया, नीचे खड़े हो गए 4 लोग इधर खड़े हो गए, बट नोबडी कुड रियली रश टू हर कि वो फिर जंप ही ना कर जाए. आई ऑल्सो वेंट एंड द मोमेंट आई वेंट टू हर, इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग एन इंस्ट्रक्शन टू हर, आई स्टार्टेड अ स्टोरी. And that story got the, and you have to have these stories, some of the stories up your sleeve. क्या मेरे को बच्चे की वो क्रोकोडाइल और बंदर की कहानी है जिसमें वो उसका हार्ट खाना चाहता है. पंचतंत्र कहानियां कितनी सारी हैं, छोटी छोटी कहानियां हैं. You have to remember them because the moment you start telling, बच्चे का attention आ गया आपकी तरफ. These are some of the times where oral storytelling helps, but this is not the only time. Oral storytelling से आपके बच्चे को vocabulary आएगी, उसका ग्रामर बढ़ेगा, लैंग्वेज स्किल्स, लिसनिंग स्किल्स, कॉम्प्रीहेंशन. ओके, सो मच द चाइल्ड कैन अंडरस्टैंड थ्रू ओरल स्टोरी टेलिंग. एक पंचतंत्र की कहानी में आप कितना कुछ कर सकते हो. लेट मी गिव यू एन एग्जाम्पल. एनिमल के साउंड्स, राइट? एनिमल कैसे जंप, कैसे चलता है, एनिमल कैसे बोलता है, एनिमल का कलर क्या होता है, एनिमल क्या खाता है, राइट? कहाँ रहता है, ये सब इंस्टेड ऑफ ओपनिंग अ बुक एंड टीचिंग द चाइल्ड, आप कहानी से बच्चे को सिखा सकते हो, राइट? इन ओरल स्टोरी टेलिंग यू हैव टू रिमेंबर योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड योर वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन. ओके, आई गिव यू एन एग्जाम्पल. Oh my God, do you know how happy he was? उसने इतनी बड़ी स्माइल दी. Can I see the smile, everyone, please? I want to see your teeth. Where are your teeth? Show me your teeth. Like this. Yes? Then he got very scared. How do you get scared? Your eyes are wide, your voice has gone down, you're whispering क्योंकि डर गए हो आप, right? You've modulated your voice. I could catch your attention, यार, तो बच्चे क्यों नहीं सुनेंगे? They will also listen. You all are storytellers. So, these are some of the things, body language. अगर आपने भी देखा होगा, our children are so intuitive. चार आदमियों को खड़े कर दो हमारे बच्चों के सामने, they will instantly know कौन उन्हें like करता है और कौन उन्हें नहीं like करता, right? So they understand that body language. Use that to the advantage of our children. उनको सिखाने के लिए इस चीज को इस्तेमाल कीजिए. पानी पीने में यूज करने. हेलो, ओके. अच्छा, जब बच्चों को कहानी सुनानी है, एज अप्रोप्रिएट स्टोरी. अब मैं एक छोटे से बच्चे को बड़ी हाई लेवल की कहानी सुनाने लग जाऊं, द चाइल्ड विल नॉट लिसन. फिर आप कहोगे कि बच्चा सुनता नहीं है, बैठता नहीं है. फॉर यंगर चिल्ड्रन, पंचतंत्र कहानियों से बेटर कोई कहानी नहीं है, क्योंकि उनमें एनिमल्स हैं, उनमें सेटिंग है, जंगल की है, घर में है, फार्म एनिमल्स हैं, हर तरह की हैं. तो छोटे बच्चों के लिए स्टोरीज विच मेक अ लॉट ऑफ साउंड इज इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हेन वी गो टू ओल्डर चिल्ड्रन, एंड यू हैव टू ट्रस्ट योर चाइल्ड. डोंट थिंक कि उसको समझ ही नहीं आएगा. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. डोंट थिंक उनको समझ नहीं आएगा. यू विल नो वॉट टाइप ऑफ स्टोरी योर चाइल्ड इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग जब आप अपने बच्चे से कहानी में सवाल पूछेंगे. जब मैं जर्नलिज्म, आई वॉज अ जर्नलिस्ट फॉर मेनी ईयर्स, तो हमारे को एक अनरिटन रूल था. कहानी जब लिखेंगे या कहानी जब शूट करेंगे तो उसमें हमको 5 सवाल पूछने होते थे, 5 या 6, विच वॉज व्हेन, या वेयर, हाउ, वाई, व्हाट एंड हु. 6 हो गए. रिमेंबर दिस इन स्टोरी टेलिंग. जब आप कहानी सुना रहे हैं, ask these questions from your child. So even for book reading, well, I'll come to that later, but it's also valid for book reading. Where was the lion? Where does the lion live? Oh, where do the birds fly? When you're saying birds, the birds fly like this. You have to tell the child to make the action, do the action so the child can copy, right? Okay. Ask questions which will enhance their cognitive ability, problem solving ability. Questions like, oh, you know what? Cat तो ऊपर जाके बैठ गई. अब पेड़ से cat को नीचे कैसे उतारें? कैसे उतारेंगे? Let's have some options. How are we going to bring the cat down from the tree? Anyone? Bring the fish, very good, and entice the cat to come down. Anything else? What is the easiest way to bring the cat down? Milk, very good. Climb the tree, okay, very good. Oh. I must tell you that my lovely children who used to listen to the story had better, more practical answers to give. They told me we'll put a ladder. So they have the ability to think, but you have to coax them. You have to give them that environment जिससे वो मजबूर होंगे सोचने के लिए. वो stimulating environment देना जरूरी है बच्चों के लिए. So we are looking at age appropriate stories. We have to look at the length of the story. Start with short, small stories. बहुत लंबी कहानियां दोगे तो वो बस attention खत्म. Keep it short when you're starting especially. Characters of the story. छोटे बच्चे will always relate to animals. Slightly older, 10 plus, find out who is their favorite character. pick up the name of their favorite character from a serial, है ना? कई बच्चे बहुत वो जो एक काला हाँ चश्मा कुछ वो देखते हैं, उसमें से किसी कैरेक्टर का नाम लेके अपनी स्टोरी में उसका नाम दे दीजिए. Okay, so that they relate to the story. Instantly उनकी attention जाएगी जब वो नाम सुनेंगे which is familiar with. अच्छा, language of the story. You don't need to tell a story in English just because you think कि वो उससे अच्छी English सीखेगा. If your child is comfortable with your own regional language, mother tongue, start the storytelling in that language only. और वैसे तो मैं बताऊं, हिंदी से अच्छी भाषा कहानी सुनाने के लिए है ही नहीं. क्यों? You look at speech भी उसी में आ जाएगी. आप इतने सारे शब्दों को उसको बुलवाएंगे, आप गानों का इस्तेमाल करेंगे. So do it in the language that your child is comfortable with. I very, very strongly suggest that you use music and instruments in your story. अब एक छोटा सा example देती हूँ. I'll give an animal only example. तो शेर ने सुबह सुबह उठा और शेर ने कहा, अरे आज तो बहुत भूख लगी है. तो शेर ने कहा, चलो जंगल में जाके आज खाना ढूंढता हूं, आज क्या मिलेगा खाने को. तो शेर चला. धुम पिचक धुम, धुम पिचक धुम, पिचक दुम धुम पिचक दुम. You've got music. Your child, you encourage your child to make this music, take the steps like a lion. कैसे चलता है? ऐसे चलता है ना? ऐसे चलता है. Music is important. Give your child an instrument story के बीच में और कहो कि जब किसी लायन का कोई कैरेक्टर है, लेट्स से उसका या कोई भी कैरेक्टर है, उसका नाम विक्रम है कहानी में, बोलो जब भी मैं विक्रम बोलूंगी ना, आपको ये डमरू बजाना है. The child will remember because it's exciting, it's not boring. You also have to play the instrument and the child also. This is how you use music. Pick up songs the child is comfortable and knows. सबने पार्टी की और सब कौन सा गाना गा रहे थे? बम बम बोले, मस्ती में बोले, because they like the song. Bring in familiarity in your storytelling. ये तो storytelling हुई. The other thing for a lot of children who are non-speaking, बहुत से बच्चे हैं जो बोल नहीं पाते या बहुत कम बोलते हैं. I would recommend you start storytelling through books. Okay? अभी एक पेरेंट मुझसे पूछ रहा था कि मैं कहानी सुनाती हूँ लेकिन मुझे नहीं पता वो कितना उसके अंदर जा रहा है, कितना वो मेरा बच्चा सीख रहा है. One very important thing जो कि शरण्य मैम भी बता रहे थे, they are like, I think हेमा मालिनी मैम, they are like sponges. Everything is going in, period. You don't have to ever question it. It takes a while to come out, but it is going in. How do you cross check? आप एक कहानी सुना रहे हो, उस कहानी में पिक्चर है when you're reading the book. So our children are also visual learners, है ना? देखते हैं तो ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह से सीखते हैं. तो जब आप किताब पढ़ रहे हो, ask the child to point. Ask the child to tell the emotions. ये तो बहुत, how is he feeling? आपने इसको देखा? ये बंदर कैसा है? Is he happy? Is he sad? Is he surprised? Ask questions while reading. Ask ये कौन सा कलर है? ये कौन सा एनिमल है? Wait for the child to respond. Processing time. थोड़ा टाइम दीजिए. हम बहुत जल्दी में भी होते हैं ना, हमको आंसर चाहिए. जब वो बच्चा नहीं देता, हम फटाफट उससे दूसरा सवाल पूछने लग जाते हैं. Hold. Give your child some time. Whenever you are doing storytelling, whether it's book or oral, you don't need to, I don't use it personally, but you can use some tools to help you. Puppets हो गए, आप एक लायन की कहानी सुना रहे हो तो एक छोटा सा लायन बच्चे का रख सकते हो. Take the doll of the child and make the story out of it if you want, so that there is again familiarity. You can use these things, puppets, toys, hand puppets बना सकते हो, use pictures. For example, किसी कहानी में एक number है कोई, तो cut that number from a different sheet and put it there. Tell the child to go through, put the hand on it, feel it, right? You can add these in your books also. So this is oral storytelling and book reading. Now, third aspect, which I feel is one of the most important, which is a very integral part of special education also, is social stories. I feel social stories are not used to its advantage. Not everybody understands and not everybody knows how to do it. I personally use a lot of storytelling जब बच्चों को when one stage is जब बच्चे adulthood में जा रहे हैं. Most difficult phase is adolescent and when they are moving on to adulthood. बहुत से ऐसे टॉपिक्स होते हैं जो बच्चों को समझाना मुश्किल होता है. ऑल्सो बिकॉज एक कल्चरल बैरियर है. हम लोग उन टॉपिक्स के बारे में डिस्कस नहीं करना चाहते. बट इट नीड्स टू बी एड्रेस्ड. फॉर गर्ल्स इट इज़ अबाउट पीरियड्स. डू नॉट वेट कि बच्चे को पीरियड आएगा तो मैं उसको समझाऊंगी. You can see the body changes happening, bodily changes happening. Start with a social story. Social story is basically a booklet. Yeah, whether you have it in the physical form या आप उसको उसके कंप्यूटर पे दिखा रहे हो. और उसमें बहुत short sentences में वो कहानी बनी होती है. My body will change. Periods will come. I'm just giving an example, but I will use a pad. Pad will have blood. I will change the pad. I will tell my mother. If it makes me sad or if my stomach hurts, I can share with my mother. Very simple short sentences and you have made it into a booklet with pictures. And any one of you ever want a social story on any of the issues you're facing with your child, please feel free to contact me. I have a resource of these social stories and I'll happy to share with all of you. Boys. For boys, the difficulty is on masturbation, they tend to touch their private parts. How do you explain the children this, your boys, your sons, this concept? Pehli baat hai, they may not express it, but they are also humans, so they have the need. Please don't think that just because unka Down syndrome hai, तो उनके इस तरह के नीड्स या उनकी सोच इस तरह से नहीं होगी. इसमें कोई खराब सोच खराब नहीं है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दे आर इवल और आई एम इनप्योर कि दे आर थिंकिंग ऑफ दीज थिंग्स. बिकॉज अगर आप इस चीज़ को एड्रेस नहीं करोगे, यू विल फेस प्रॉब्लम्स आगे जाके. बिकॉज बच्चे को नहीं पता डिफरेंस बिटवीन ए वुमन, मदर, सिस्टर एंड अदर फीमेल रिलेटिव्स. तो वो डिफ्रेंसिएशन आप सिखाओगे through social stories. And these are social stories where everything is taught step by step. And there is no shame in this, parents. Yes, please. Yes, I was coming to that. Absolutely, yes. So, behavior modification also, I'll come to that as well. Things about, this is one aspect. Second aspect, what is the private space? What is the public space? Where, simple things like where can you take off your clothes? You can keep giving the instruction कि आपको अपने bathroom में जाना है, कमरे में जाना है, लेकिन फिर भी बच्चा कर रहा है. Use social stories. वो किताब है. And in fact, what ma'am just said about behavior modification. कोई भी एक पर्टिकुलर बिहेवियर है जो चैलेंज है बच्चे के लिए. मॉल जाना है, चलो. मेरी बेटी भी जब जाती थी मॉल, वो नीचे बैठ जाती थी बस ज़मीन पे, बिकॉज शी वांटेड टू गो इनटू हैमलीज. उसको टॉय खरीदना है. आई कांट हर बार उसकी हर डिज़ायर को फुलफिल नहीं किया जा सकता. शी स्टार्टेड सिटिंग ऑन द फ्लोर. बहुत बार बेशर्मों की तरह मैं भी बैठी हूँ नीचे ही ज़मीन पे, right in the middle of the mall. But then I understood the importance of social stories. आप मॉल, गोइंग टू अ मॉल का एक स्टोरी बनाएंगे. उसमें मेहनत है. पिक्चर निकालिए ऑनलाइन मॉल की, आप पिक्चर डालिए, अपनी गाड़ी की पिक्चर डालिए, अपने बच्चे की पिक्चर डालिए उसमें सोशल स्टोरी में. उसको बनाइए वन लाइन में और उसको 5 दिन पहले से बच्चे को पढ़ाना शुरू कर दीजिए. 3 times in a day you start showing the book. Don't give instruction. Just simply read those one lines to your child. You are conditioning the child for an event जो कि कई दिन बाद होना है, right? एक example देती हूँ. My daughter was 6-7 years old, 7-8 actually. और उसको वो ट्रांजिशनिंग में बहुत मुश्किल आ रही थी. एक एक्टिविटी अगर कर रही है, कमरे में है, कुछ काम कर रही है, दूसरा चीज़ करने के लिए मतलब घंटे लग जाते थे. एंड आई रिमेंबर आई यूज्ड टू बी इन टीयर्स बिकॉज यू नो इट इज़ एग्जॉस्टिंग. एक चीज़ जो वो तंग करती थी, हम जब गाड़ी में कहीं जाते थे तो हम जब घर वापस आते थे, शी वोंट गेट आउट ऑफ द कार. अब आप अपने दूसरे 2 बच्चों को कितना बोलोगे बेटा घर अभी बैठे रहो, आपको घर भी खोलना है, गाड़ी में भी नहीं छोड़ सकते अकेले. So one day what I did was, मैं वो A4 sheet होता है कंप्यूटर का, I took that out, 2 sheets, I folded it, stapled it, made it into a booklet. I drew a car with a pen. I colored it silver क्योंकि गाड़ी का silver color था. I put 3 people, two of my daughters and one myself in the car. बाल वैसे ही जैसे छोटे बनाए. Simple. One picture is the car with 3 of us sitting inside, and I'm not an artist. Stick figures बनाया था. Second picture, Shreya is inside the car, her sister and me outside the car, and we have sad face. Visually देख रहा है बच्चा कि माँ और sister मेरी sad हैं. Third page, Shreya comes out of the car and all of us are smiling. Fourth page, empty car. We've gone inside the house. Believe me, parents, मैंने उसको कुछ a few times only I must have shown this to her, and it had an impact. I did not have to Google search, make a professional booklet. You can do this at home. Your child has a problem with hitting, your child has a problem of throwing. Any of these things and every of these behavior issues can be handled with a social story. One of the parent asked me just now, how do you handle the issue of marriage? And I'll be honest, I hadn't thought of this, Sudha, done? Okay. I hadn't thought of this idea till she just asked me a few minutes back, how do we explain the concept of marriage? Like, it may not be something that our children can have, for example. How do you explain this? They are seeing their siblings getting married. It may be an option, it may not be an option. I don't know. We've seen one marriage happening recently, but is that opening the doors for everyone? Don't know. So how do you explain? It was too last minute, but what I can think of is, you talk about these 4-5 people who are not married. Let's say, who's not married, who's a public figure that our children are aware of? Salman Khan. Modi ji, our children also know APJ Abdul Kalam, right? Some of them are aware, because if they are aware of the fact of marriage, they know all these characters, they know all these public figures. You put their picture, you tell about them, and you simply write one line in the end. He was not married, or he is not married. You don't have to say, oh, देखो उनकी तो शादी नहीं हुई. हम तो क्या कहानी बनाते हैं, देखो उन्होंने ये किया पर उनकी शादी नहीं हुई है ना, तो इसलिए it's okay, आपकी भी शादी नहीं होगी तो कोई बात नहीं. नहीं. Just one line. And he was not married, and she is not married. It has an impact on the children. During COVID, there was an issue of a lot of children losing their loved ones. How do you explain that? I did it through a story. I didn't talk about death, but the story was weaved in such a way that the child could understand that the person is now gone and won't come back, but that doesn't mean that life has to stop because another person has come into my life. It was a story about a dragon, और उस dragon से हर रोज एक छोटा सा बच्चा मिलने आता था, okay? और कई साल तक मिलने आता था और वो दोनों खेलते थे. And I used to always sing a story, a song in between that story so that they understood more. I would always sing, a song was, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn bliss. That was the song. And every time बीच में I would sing this song. और फिर एक दिन वो बच्चा आना बंद हो जाता है. Dragon बहुत दुखी हो जाता है. And then after a few days, उसकी सिस्टर आने लग जाती है उसके साथ खेलने. I didn't have to explicitly say कि वो बच्चा is no more. Our children have the ability to understand वो नहीं है मेरी life में अब, but कोई और आ गया है. Like the life moves on. Yeah? So like this, you talk about the concepts which are difficult to understand, but not explicitly like about marriage I just said, but I just came up with this. I don't know, maybe there's a better way of putting it. But, so, end में ये कह रही हूँ कि एक तो आप लोग सब storyteller हो. I am not the only one. Each one of us are storytellers. When you come back from your office and download all the problems you had with your wife, you're a storyteller. Yeah. When you go to your neighborhood and say, "अरे यार, आज मेरी mother-in-law ने तो मेरे को तंग करके रख दिया यार," you are a storyteller, right? So we are all storytellers. But the most important thing is that your story, your life story, is only in your hands. So make the best story ever, guys. Best story. Thank you. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you. No. Thank you so much. Thank you.
अरे
Last year wala. Okay, just 2 lines. That's so sweet. एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है. एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है. जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है. एक प्यार का नगमा है. थैंक यू. आज आवाज थोड़ी बैठी हुई है, बट थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, Shivani auntie, our own teller of tales. Can we hear it once again for her? As usual, you did a fantastic job with your power of narration. Every one of us was hanging on to your every word. Your efforts are truly appreciated by each one of us present here. Your talk was stimulating. Everybody was at standstill from start to finish. Thank you so much for sharing such an enriching session. We are very happy to share with you that all the t-shirts you got during the time of registration, it has the tagline of Miss Angelina Magdalene from Jharkhand, who says, "Sky is not my limit." Can we hear it for her one more time? So, now,
We are having the cricket match.
yeah, but first you are,
Tell them they were having the cricket match. I know, but then
yes. So now we break off for lunch. We will fall back sharp at 2 p.m. I'm repeating, sharp at 2 p.m. because me, you and all are waiting to want to listen to Rekha Ma. So sharp at 2. And please remember, don't waste food. Your children are hungry. They have, scraped all hairs of the volunteers trying to hold them in the sapphire tube. Please collect them and get back to the hall at 2. And yes, 2:30 we are going out for the cricket.